Good evening, we are live, and this is Saturday Night Gaming with myself, Mr. Mark W., and on the other side of the headset, Mr. Rob Bob. Say hello, Rob Bob.
Hello,
Uh,
Rabab.
Hello, Rob Bob. So tonight we're gonna revisit the Fighting Fantasy series of games, which we have played a few times before. I think twice before actually. We played in the past Creature of Havoc and City of Thieves. Tonight we're going to play this game book here that you see before you, Citadel of Chaos, a fighting fantasy game book in which you are the hero. Now, this is the second fighting fantasy game ever published. The first being, as you can see here, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Number two, Citadel of Chaos. Number three, Death Trap Dungeon, etc. And this is the very first. This is one of the few original ones that I have not played before. So, growing up, I played a ton of these Fighting Fantasy books, as well as anyone who follows this channel knows a lot of other books, including a lot of Tunnels and Trolls, RPG solos, and this one, for some reason, it never crossed my path. Um, I just never had it, but I did play the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I remember that one feeling kind of rough around the edges compared to some of the later ones, so it's quite possible Citadel of Chaos will feel similar. And the other ones I played growing up, City of Thieves, definitely. I didn't play Crypt of the Sorcerer. I definitely played House of Hell, which is very hellish and very hard. The live stream of Chaos. Hey, Stu and Ryan, welcome. I definitely played Forest of Doom. Sorcery is not technically fighting fantasy, I don't think. I don't know. I guess they would know better than I would. But the Sorcery series is really fun because you can choose to play as a warrior or a wizard. And if you're a wizard, there's a completely separate spell book that you have to read, and you could totally cheat if you want to. But the way it's supposed to work is you memorize all the spells, like you, the human being playing the game, memorize the spells. Each one has a code. For example, your basic combat zappy zap spell is called Zap, Z-A-P. And there's another one that's a force field that's something like, I don't even remember, it might be something like FFO. And you have to memorize these codes. So the game will say, do you want to cast FFO or Zap? Or sometimes it would just make up garbage. And if you didn't remember what spell code was for each spell, then you would cast the wrong thing. Anyway, I'm kind of going on a tangent. I played a whole bunch of these games though. Island of the Lizard King, it was kind of notable to me growing up here on Long Island because they borrowed names from places here on Long Island, specifically Oyster Bay and Fire Island. So I always thought that was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, there's also more than this that's just on this list. There was one that I liked a lot called Sword of the Samurai that took place in a feudal Japan setting. There was one called Demons of the Deep, which took place like underwater. Anyway, tonight it is time for Citadel of Chaos, and the official Fighting Fantasy Twitter account. They said they would promote any streams that were playing any of these original games that came out in, I believe, 1983. Um, as part of their sort of actually it doesn't seem to be all of them. They said they listed just a few. They listed a few of them like Citadel of Chaos, City of Thieves. Don't recall all the ones. They said basically if you're going to play any of these guys, any of these books, let us know and we'll promote it for you. So they did retweet my tweet reply earlier this week saying that I would be streaming tonight. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of exposure due to that, but that would be cool if we do. Um, so yeah, here we are, Citadel of Chaos. This is again one that I have not played before, and Rob Bob has never played it either. So we're in for a treat, perhaps. Perhaps there'll be a lot of false starts and walking into the wrong direction, which leads to instant death and things like that. Um, Stu says I'm here because I saw that tweet. Yeah, you never watched my streams, right, Stu? Here's a funny little story though. There are two well-known tabletop game designers named Steve Jackson. There is UK Steve Jackson, who is one of the co-founders of Games Workshop, as well as one of the authors who started these Fighting Fantasy series. But there's also U.S. Steve Jackson, who's based in Texas, and you might know him from like Steve Jackson games, GURPS, Munchkin, and stuff like that. And just to as a kid, I didn't know there was a difference for a while, and a lot of people still get confused by that because there's two prominent tabletop Steve Jacksons. Just to add some fun confusion to it, well, most of the time, if you see a fighting fantasy book authored by Steve Jackson, it's the UK one. But one time they collaborated, and there was one I can't seem to find it, but it's called Scorpion Swamp. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not on this list, or maybe I'm just being blind. I thought it was number
I don't
eight.
see it.
But anyway, Scorpion Swamp was written by U.S. Steve Jackson. So, so completely different Steve Jackson, except on that book it would just say, well, it's authored by Steve Jackson. So that's a fun little bit of trivia. Uh, but yeah, here's the back in case that's interesting to anybody. The Citadel of Chaos. And again, this is just the second one. So, early on in any kind of series like this or any old school fantasy role playing game, the early stuff tends to be very primeval, very basic. You're a good guy going through the dungeon trying to slay the evil wizard kind of a thing. So then, as they make, dozens of adventure, they start to delve into, well, what if you're actually the dragon this time, or what if where you're actually time traveling and you go back to the prehistoric periods, but you're a samurai. I'm just making things up, but in other words, expect this to be pretty basic fantasy. At least that's what I'm expecting. I haven't played this one. And hey, Rymester says Wizard Books did not re-release Scorpion Song. Okay, so this one is published. Yeah, so this is my first one that I've ever gotten in this by this publisher. It's called Wizard Books. Thanks for mentioning that, the Rhyme Master. Um, I had the growing up. I think they're by Penguin Books, and the ones I got recently are by Scholastic. So I bought this one even more recently than recently, but the ones you see me play like over the last couple of years, they're Scholastic because I bought a whole batch of those like 2 or 3 years ago. The problem with those is they wiped out all of the original artwork and replaced it with like this kind of, it looks like stuff that somebody painted on their iPad. It's not bad in its own right, but it's worse than the original. So in my last batch of stuff that I ordered from eBay, I decided to go with a different edition, and they're the Wizard ones. So I have also the Forest of Doom. By the way, welcome the Rhyme Master and Trial of Champions. I remember liking Trial of Champions quite a lot growing up. Although again, I had the one from I think is Penguin Books. Forest of Doom. I played the app version of this relatively recently, and this lizard guy with the cloak is prominently displayed in all illustrations for this book for some reason. Well, I guess because he's a big baddie, but I don't know what to expect exactly in this one, except apparently there's a dragon. In one of the other editions, it shows some weird looking hairy beast doing kind of addition to cover, and it almost looks like one of those things you would I don't know if you were a D&D fan in third grade and you were drawing on your trapper keeper, maybe you would draw a weird looking thing. Like it looks very basic and silly. Anyway, we don't have that edition though. So let's dig into this a bit. Uh, Citadel of Chaos. Deep inside the Citadel of Chaos, the dread sorcerer Balthus Dire is plotting and scheming the downfall of the good folk of the Vale of Willow. His battle plans are laid, his awesome army equipped, and attack is surely imminent. And Ryan, by the way, says, I always like the scary house one. House of Hell, that's so hard. I played the app of that recently too, and I couldn't beat it. It's very hard. You have to like explore every nook and cranny and get and like do the right things. And anyway, summoned by a desperate plea for help, you are the Vale of Willow's only hope. Star people of the Grand Wizard of Yore and a master of magic. Only you can prevent forest fires. And only you can undertake a mission which strikes at the very heart of Balthus Dyer's nightmare world. Who knows what monstrous creatures await you there? Steve Jackson has created a thrilling adventure of sword and sorcery for you with an elaborate combat system, a dazzling array of spells to use, and a score sheet to record your gains and losses. So yeah, most of these adventures don't have magic, but this one does, I hear. And so if you actually look at, by the way, I have an overhead camera that I'll be kind of zooming in on as needed to show my character sheet and also for dice rolling. But you can see in the character sheet there is a special place for magic spells. So we can use that. Also, there's magic points. I know this is a little bit fuzzy overhead thing, but we'll just have to deal. All right, so many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. We're going to have to take advantage of the five-fingered bookmark once in a while, probably. That means when you die, you go, "Oh no, wait, I didn't go that path. I'm back over here now." Um, powerful Adversaries are ranged against you, and often your choice is to kill or be killed. Well, it's a pretty obvious choice then if you have to kill or be killed. All right, Citadel of Chaos. Here is the inside cover illustration. I'm assuming this is some fun friend you will find within the book. For Ben and Jake, may they live long and prosper. That's up here. So this was published in the UK in 2005 by Wizard Books. Okay. I'm not going to go through all this stuff, but originally the text is copyrighted 1983 Steve Jackson and the illustrations copyright 1983 Russ Nicholson. And Ryan says, do you get a white conical hat if you're a grand wizard? Oh, come on. I'm walking into one of Ryan's Anchorman traps. How to fight the creatures. So yeah, I guess they do use the term Grand Wizard. So you're the star people of the Grand Wizard of Yore. Um, you have a knowledge of magic which is not perfect, but with a little luck will be adequate for this quest. So let me start using my arms that hold the book in place so that it's a little less awkward. That's something I'll have to play with as I go. But yeah, this should be a little bit better to read. Yeah, so we got the magic. You also have in your possession a sword, and you are well practiced in sword play. You are quite fit and have been exercising to build up your stamina. How do they know I've been working out? But before you start, you must first create your character by rolling dice to determine your skill, stamina, and luck scores. Enter these on the adventure sheets on pages 20 to 21. These scores will change during the adventure. Write on the adventure sheet in pencil. Yeah. Obvious stuff. Here's the basic system. It's kind of the same, I would imagine, as all the others, except they introduced magic. But I haven't read this yet, so I'm going to go over it. And what we have is to determine your initial skill, stamina, and luck scores, you roll a die and add 6 for skill. You roll 2 dice and add 12 for stamina. And luck is typically the same as skill. You roll 1 die and add 6. So let me just go to the next page to be sure. Yes, and that's what it says. And the brief breakdown on what they mean. Skill is basically your combat ability. Higher is better. Stamina is essentially hit points. And luck is, well, how lucky you are. The way that works is, well, it'll probably get into that in a moment. They constantly change during the adventure, so you got to keep an eraser handy. That's why you use a pencil and not pen. When you are told to fight a creature, you must resolve the battle as described below. I'm going to kind of gloss over that. Basically, you roll 2 dice for the enemy, and you add its skill. And then you do the same for yourself. And whoever wins that combat round. Um, and if it's the same, if it's a tie, you both missed. Whoever gets the upper hand subtracts 2 points from the opponent's stamina, but you can use luck to do additional damage if you're the winner of the round. But if you're the loser of the round, you could use luck to minimize the damage, so you would take 1 fewer stamina. And you keep going until one of you reaches 0 stamina. I guess luck is explained probably on a subsequent page. Escaping from battles. On some pages, you'll be given the option to escape from a battle. You may only escape if it's offered to you on the page. If you do run away, the creature automatically scores 1 wound on you. Subtract 2 stamina points as you flee. Such is the price of cowardice. Hey, sometimes you got to do that, right? You can use luck on this wound in the normal way. See using luck in battles below. Luck. Sometimes you will be told to test your luck. As you'll discover, using luck is risky business. The way you test your luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the number is equal to or less than your current luck score, you've been lucky. If the number is higher than your current luck score, you've been unlucky. The consequences of lucky versus unlucky are found on the page. Each time you test your luck, you actually subtract 1 luck. So you use it up like a resource. Using luck in battles. So we alluded to that earlier, using luck in battles. Um, if you've wounded the creature, you can choose to test your luck as described above. If you're lucky, you subtract an extra 2 points from the creature's stamina, i.e. 4 instead of 2. It's good I read that because I thought it was just one extra. But if you are unlucky, you must restore 1 point to the creature's stamina. Okay. So you would deal only one if you fail the luck roll when you're trying to do extra damage. But if the creature wounds you, you can test your luck to minimize the wound. And if you're lucky, you restore 1 point of stamina, so you take only one damage instead of two. And each time you do that, though, you got to lose one luck. So you can't overdo it. Sometimes you can restore your skill, stamina, and luck. Um, a magic weapon may increase your skill, but only one weapon can be used at a time. Just glossing over stuff, stamina and provisions. Your stamina score will change a lot during the adventure. As you near your goal, your stamina will probably be low. Yeah, your stamina may be dangerously low, and battles may be particularly risky, so be careful. You may only restore your stamina score by casting a stamina spell, see using magic. You're well advised to ensure that you include stamina spells in your original choice of spells. Noted, noted. Um, Stamina spells are basically your healing spells. Luck, you'll find additions to your luck score awarded when you've been particularly lucky. Remember that, as with skill and stamina, your luck score may never exceed its initial value. Yeah. You may otherwise only restore your luck by using a luck spell. Alternative dice. That's just a silly way to roll dice if you don't have dice. Using magic. In addition to skill, stamina, and luck scores, you must also determine your magic score in a similar way. Roll 2 dice, add 6, that's your magic. Your magic score determines how many magic spells you may use during your quest. These spells may be chosen from the list following this section. Yes, it's a little more in depth than usual for the character creation. After considering the spells available, enter your choices in the magic spells box on your adventure sheet. So that would be right over here. If, for example, you roll a 4 and a 3, we don't need to get too deep into that. So in this example, if you roll a 7, you would have 13, which means you'll be able to use 13 spells during your adventure. From the list of spells given over the next page, you may choose 13 spells as you please. Perhaps you would like to take 3 stamina spells. Yeah, so you can take duplicates of each spell, so each one gets used up. 5 ESP spells and 5 fire spells, or maybe you prefer one each of the 12 spells plus an extra creature copy spell. The choice is yours. Each time during the adventure that you use a spell, you must cross it off your list, even if it's not effective. If you've taken more than one of any spell, you must reduce the remainder available by one each time you use it. You will sometimes be given the option to use spells and find that you have not got them with you, or you have used them all up. In these cases, you may not choose these options. Yeah, it's a lot of words to explain what it is. It's probably common sense stuff for most of us, but if they don't say it, they're going to get a lot of letters from people like, I don't understand how to play. This game sucks. As you will have no idea of the dangers lurking within the Citadel the first time you enter, you will no doubt choose spells which will not be as effective as you would like. But on subsequent adventures, you will choose your spells more wisely. Okay, so each one is not equally useful, is what they're saying. Also, don't worry if your magic score is low. Even the lowest possible score will provide you with enough spells to complete your quest if you make the right choices and are blessed with a little luck. And here are the spells. Oh boy. Shall we take a break and roll our stats? Let's do that. Stu says, I still will by the will of God. Sorry, I wonder if I'm missing something. By the time Rob Bob is your age, says Ryan, I wonder if people even still have physical books. It's a good question. All right, so I'm going to roll up stats. I have a cheat rule that I like to follow in Fighting Fantasy, and that is for skill and luck, if I roll a 1, I just re-roll. And I do something similar for stamina, but if I roll like a 4 or less for stamina, I'll re-roll. And I guess I might as well do the same for magic. If I roll 4 or less on the 2 dice. All right, so which one? Let's use the white dice. They have less glare. So, first off, for the skill. Oh man, that doesn't fit my cheat rule. So unfortunately, our skill is only 8. Stamina. That's 9 plus. Is it plus 12? I'm trying to remember. plus 6 or 12. Let me check that. I think it's plus 6. Do, 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 do. Add 12. Okay. So that means we have 21 stamina, if I can math correctly. And luck. Okay. So that is a 9 luck. Yeah, he's nothing to write home about. His stamina is solid. Luck and skill are eh. And now we have the new thing to roll, magic. Okay, a 6 ain't bad. So that becomes, we add, sorry, what did it say we add? It was like 7 or something like that? Or 6? I think it was add 6. Yeah, in the example, they rolled a 7 and add 6 to have 13. So we have 6 and add 6, so that's 12 magic. All right. So now to choose our spells. What should we choose? Well, let's go through the list here. Creature copy. This spell will allow you to conjure up an exact duplicate of any creature you are fighting. Okay, I hope he's on my side. The duplicate will have the same skill and stamina scores and the same powers as its original, but the duplicate will be under the control of your will, and you may, for example, instruct it to attack the original creature and then sit back and watch the battle. That sounds good, yeah. But that does sound good because it's like even if you find a badass, they'll probably worst case they'll win a few rounds for you, I guess. And the Rhyme Master says, "Hi, Mark. I love
Hello.
the."
Okay, there we go.
Sorry,
Sorry, my mic stopped working. I was saying that sounds good.
it does sound good, yeah. Yeah, but probably all these are good once we get through them. We'll be like, oh man, can't decide. So the Rye Master says, "Hi Mark, hi Rye Master. I love these books. I have all the original Penguin books except for 4 books. Some of the original books are worth over 800 Australian dollars. If you're lucky enough to find them." So my older brother was the one who bought them all, and I played them. So Brian, if you're watching, and if you got any of these, you might you might have some cash. Um, Creature Copy is a cool game mechanic, says Ryan. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Well, I think so many of our originals were so well worn. Even I can remember thinking back to maybe the early 90s, the covers being really like almost crumply looking, and the pages were turned so much, the spines were split, and if anything, they're probably worse by now. But that's cool to know though. ESP. With this spell, you'll be able to tune into ESPN. No, tune into psychic wavelengths. It may help you to read a creature's mind, or may tell you what's behind a locked door. However, excuse me. Sorry about that. I have a new headset too, so usually when I'm taking a sip of water, I hit my hardware mute button, so you don't hear me gurgling. But I don't even know where it is on this new headset. I'm going wireless. I'm joining the 21st century. I can actually not have this wire dragging across. But anyway, ESP. It is sometimes prone to give misleading information if one psychic source is close to another. Oh, yeah, it's like Bluetooth interference maybe, or radio interference. Next up, we have fire. Every creature is afraid of fire. Every creature, even fire elementals. And this spell allows you to conjure up fire at will. You may cause a small explosion on the ground which will burn forever. Sorry, not for several seconds. Or you may create a wall of fire to keep creatures at bay. That sounds neat. Here's the thing, they all sound neat.
I think the clone one sounds better, in
Okay.
my opinion.
Yeah, but we can choose. Well, there's 12 spells, and we have 12 to choose from. It's a matter of do we want one of each, or to double up some of them. I'm thinking we should probably get maybe at least 2 or 3 stamina. They advised that stamina is a very useful spell, which would mean not getting every single spell. And you understand, Rob,
Okay.
Bob, that we use them up, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So if we get the clone one, whatever it's called, creature copy, it's we have to choose how many instances of it we want from the get go.
Yeah, that could be good though if you find like a really strong creature.
Yeah, maybe you could save it for the final boss or something.
Yeah.
Or could it be cheesy in the text to say it won't work on him because he's special? That's probably what it says. This spell, Fool's Gold, will turn ordinary rock into a pile of what appears to be gold. However, the spell is merely an illusion, merely a form of illusion spell. although more reliable than the illusion spell below. And the pile of gold will soon turn back to rock. Okay, so it sounds like this next spell, illusion, is more versatile but less stable or less convincing. So if you specifically want to fake having gold, you can guess full gold.
It
Well,
seems pretty specific,
it could be useful.
so I don't know.
I'm sure they have some scenarios, or at least one or two, in which it's useful. But offhand, I think you're right. It doesn't sound, oh yeah, I gotta have that. But who knows? Maybe it's really useful to have money in this game. You could find some salesman
Maybe
who's
if you need to
selling.
distract somebody
Yeah, here,
somehow.
bribe him. And by the way, Ryan says, read a creature's mind. I have a feeling reading my cat's mind wouldn't be very helpful. And maybe they know things you wouldn't expect, Ryan.
But you
Illusion,
don't
this
know because you haven't read their mind.
exactly. This is a powerful spell, but one which is a little unreliable. Through this spell, you may create a convincing illusion. For example, that you have turned into a snake, or that the floor is covered in hot coals. The floor is lava, with which to fool a creature. The spell will immediately be cancelled if anything happens which dispels the illusion. For example, you convince a creature that you have turned into a snake and then promptly crack it over the head with your sword. They'll say, wait a minute, snakes don't crack people over the head with swords. However, if you crack someone over the head with a sword, they might not be thinking too much longer anyway. It is most effective against intelligent creatures. Yeah, if you have like a giant snail, I guess they're not very that you're fighting. They might not really care if you look like a snake. I don't know. Levitation. You may cast this spell onto objects, opponents, and even yourself. It frees its receiver from the effects of gravity, and as such will cause that receiver to float freely in the air under your control. By the way, if anyone in the chat wants to call out spells I should take, kind of like voting for what I should choose, trying to like nudge me in the direction of choosing spells that sound cool to you, let me know. Just say it right out in the chat. The Rhyme Master says illusion spell. Rob, you're like really like rubbing the mic or something.
I'm sorry.
Ryan Master says illusion spell is a good useful spell, and Ryan says creature's copy, and Stu says so far the cloning seems a bit. Yeah, all right. So we're gonna have to get at least one creature copy, maybe two or three. Luck. This spell, along with the skill and stamina spells, is special in that it may be cast at any time during your adventure, except in battle. You need not wait for a choice to appear on the page. Once cast, it will restore your luck score by half your initial luck score. If your initial luck score is an odd number, deduct the extra half. This spell will never take your luck score over its initial level. Okay, so therefore I have luck of 9, so every time I cast it, it would restore by 4 if I cast that spell. Shielding. Casting this spell creates an invisible shield in front of you which will protect you from physical objects, for example, arrows, swords, or creatures. The shield is not effective against magic, and of course, if nothing outside can touch you, you will not be able to touch anything outside it. Okay? Of course. Well, it's magic. I don't know. I don't know about of course. It could be a one-way shield. This spell skill, by the way, this spell will replenish your skill by half its initial value, just like the luck spell. Okay, got that. All right. Skill is so valuable in these fighting fantasy games. I'm kind of terrible with my 8 skill, but generally it's pretty uncommon for things to take away your skill. It's definitely not unheard of though. But it's like when it does though, it really hurts. Like if I get knocked down to 6 skill, that's pretty painful. Stamina though, this spell will replenish your stamina score by half its initial value. Okay, it may be cast at any time. Strength. This spell has the effect of increasing your strength greatly, and is very useful when battling strong creatures. However, it must be exercised with caution as it is difficult to control your strength when it's suddenly increased by so much. Interesting because you don't have a strength stat, so it's dependent on the text. The text has to say what happens when your strength increases. It could be something like, this door is locked. Do you want us to smash it open? Well, you can't do that unless you cast strength. Also, we have weakness, and this is the last spell. Strong creatures are reduced by this spell to miserable weaklings. It is not successful against all creatures, but when effective, those creatures become puny and much less of a challenge in battle. All right, let's make some choices. I think we have a lot of votes for creature copy. So,
Um,
yep.
the fact that, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but that one said that it doesn't work on some creatures, while creature copy didn't. So I don't know.
Which one doesn't work on some creatures?
The one that you just read, the
Weakness?
weakness, it
Yes,
said
that
it
is
doesn't
true.
work against all creatures. So,
Good point.
yeah.
All right, so let's all right, so the Rhyme Master is from Sydney, Australia. He said, "Yeah, welcome, man. I appreciate it. This is my very humble channel where right now we have 7 concurrent viewers. That's like exciting. Usually it's just these
Yeah, that's
guys,
pretty
Ryan
good
and
for.
Stu. Ryan and Stu. Depends on which stream. I have a retro gaming stream, like video games. There's a few other people who come to that more often. Anyway, magic spells. Let's start with 2 or 3 stamina. What do you think, Rob?
Uh, I don't know.
2
Two, I
stamina.
guess. You can always change that, I guess.
Well, we have to lock it in here, really.
Well,
Well, let's
well,
go
I
with
mean,
Stu.
before you start,
Sure.
we're still deciding.
Trying to see if the darker light looks better or not. I can change the color too. This is one of those ring light things that I got recently. Anyway, yeah, we definitely like this clone thing. What was it called? Creature copy. We'll go with
Yep.
why not 3 creature copy? We all seem to like it. So
All right.
now, of course, that means we selected 5 of our 12 options. So that leaves us
Yeah.
with
I
7.
think two might be better. I don't know though
You want to go with 2?
for creature copy.
All right, let's go with 2.
Yeah,
All right, so 2 salmon, two
'cause
creature copy.
I don't want to put them all into one thing.
Well, fair enough. Uh, how about a levitation?
All right.
1 levitation. Um, a luck and a skill, or 2 each. How about 1 skill, 2 luck? That'll let us like really use test our luck a lot. I don't know.
Sure.
1 skill, 2 luck. So where does that leave us with 4, 5, 6, 7,
8.
8? 4 more. Sorry, I'm not like really showing my thing very well here. All right. Illusion might be useful. We got shielding, ESP, fire. I think fire sounds good. Should we get 1 fire?
All right. Maybe ESP too.
Stu, stop trolling people. Stu likes to just mess around with people and say silly things, so don't mind don't mind him, the Ryan Master. I think he's trolls me most of all though. What'd you say, Rob? Bob? Sorry.
ESP, I said.
All right, we'll
Probably at
get
least one.
1 ESP, 1 fire. So what's our total? 10, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we have 2 more points worth. Um, we could get shielding and illusion.
Uh, sure. Yeah, I was thinking illusion.
1 shielding, 1 illusion.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not getting any weakness or strength, I guess, or fool's gold. That's fine. You can't really, well, you can take everything, but then you don't really get to double up on anything. 1 shielding.
Couldn't you? You could theoretically use the illusion as a worse fool's gold,
I think so. Sorry, what was the last thing we
or would it
said?
be a better one? I don't
I think it said fool's gold is more stable than illusion, but illusion is more versatile.
know.
Um, sorry, I forgot what our last one was. Oh, it was illusion. Yeah,
Yes.
use your illusion, part 2, says Stu. Okay, so that's that. We've made our character. Should we give him a name?
All right.
I'm gonna reuse my most successful so far Tunnels and Trolls character's name. He's gonna be Bolgar of Wheat. That's our little joke. If anyone can figure it out. Um, okay, let's keep going. Okay, the stream's over, guys. We've been going at it for a half hour. Just kidding. Um, equipment: you start your adventure with a sword and dressed in fancy leather pants. No, leather armor. You carry a lantern to light your way. Okay, I'm not sure if I should be jotting all these down or not, but carry a lantern and a backpack. To hold any treasure or artifacts that you may find on your way. Be sure to record all your finds in your equipment box on your adventure sheet. When these are used in any particular encounter, the story will tell you whether the item is destroyed or left behind. If it is lost in this way, you must cross it off your equipment and you may not use it later in the adventure. Sure thing. And then they have the character sheet here, basically. All right, here we go. You ready for the story, guys? Story time.
Or
Put away the game mechanics and let's get to the storytelling.
bedtime story.
Yeah, this is a happy Mother's Day tale. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms who are watching, which is, yeah, I'd be lucky if I get any female to watch. Maybe my lovely wife is watching. She's probably gone to bed. But yeah, in the US, it's Mother's Day tomorrow anyway. I'm not sure about elsewhere. Probably not elsewhere.
Wouldn't
History,
it
though.
be, sorry,
Yep.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be Mother's Day already in Australia, I guess,
Because Australia time, yeah.
for our Australian viewer?
Right, but I think it was Harry Truman who decided, President Harry Truman, who decided on Mother's Day. I might be wrong on that. Somewhere around that era, though, the president decided on our Mother's Day, so I doubt the dates would
Okay.
coincide in other countries. Maybe, I don't know if they even have that thing. All right, the lawful good folk of the Vale of Willow have lived for some 8 years in awe and fear of the demi-sorcerer, Balthus Dyer. In awe, since his power is truly awesome, and in fear ever since word leaked from his domain that his ambitious plans of conquest were to commence with the Vale itself. A faithful half-elf sent on a spying mission to the Black Tower came galloping back to the Vale 3 days ago with a frantic warning. From within the caverns of Kragan Rock, Balthus Dyer had recruited an army of chaotics and was preparing them to attack the Vale within the week. The good King Salomon. Sounds like a familiar name. Like Solomon. The good King Salomon was a man of action. Messengers were sent through the Vale that day to prepare defenses and to summon the menfolk to action. Riders had also been sent to the great forest of Yor to warn the half-elves that lived there, and to make an appeal for allied forces. King Salomon, or Salmon, was also a wise man. He knew well that the news would inevitably reach the Grand Wizard of Yor, a white sorcerer of great. This isn't helping with your joke, Ryan. A white sorcerer of great power who lived. Sorry, who lived deep within. It's a different. This is a UK writer, so he didn't have that context. Um, lived deep within the forest. The wizard was old and would not last through a battle of this magnitude. But he schooled a number of young magicians, and perhaps one of his students in the magic arts with courage and ambition would aid the king and his subjects. He makes great skis, says Ryan. And Stu said everyone knows that Australia is wholly populated by criminals anyway. Okay. I gotta not like read all you guys chat messages out loud. I'm gonna get in trouble. You are the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yore. He has been a difficult master, and your own impatience has often got the better of you. Perhaps a little too headstrong, you left immediately for Salomon's court. The king welcomed you enthusiastically and explained his plan. The battle could be avoided without bloodshed if Balthus were to be assassinated before his army could be amassed. Well, it's not really without bloodshed if you have to assassinate somebody, but I get the point. The
With
mission
less
to
bloodshed.
less bloodshed, a lot less. Oh, Stu was quoting the Princess Bride. Okay, okay. I vaguely remember something about Australia and the Princess Bride. The mission ahead of you is extremely perilous. Balthus Dyer is surrounded in his citadel by a multitude of appalling creatures. So I'm a hired assassin. Ah, I'm basically a star pupil in a wizard school, but for some reason I'm the hired assassin. Yeah. Hey, why not? I guess it said I am very headstrong, so that's the reason why I'm doing it. Yeah. So the citadel. He's surrounded in a citadel by a multitude of appalling creatures. Although magic is your strongest weapon, there will be times when you must rely on your sword to survive. King Salomon has briefed you on your mission and warned you of the dangers that lie ahead. One way through the citadel is the best for you to take. If you discover it, you will be successful with a minimum of personal risk. It may take you several trips to find the easiest way through. You leave the Vale of Willow on the long hike to the Black Tower. At the foot of the hill of Kragen Rock, you can see its outline against the dark sky. Now turn over. Okay. Oh, oh, I just tore a page. Oh man, that's not a big deal. Just a little bit in the at the bottom, right there. But I just hate when I do that. I'm like, oh. Anyway, it's a used book I purchased on eBay, so it's not one of those multi-$100 ones that are from the Penguin books. Anyway, here's a picture. It says, I guess this part is just quoting something from the paragraph I'm about to read. You hear muffled gruntings as you approach, and two misshapen creatures step forward. Stu says if you didn't make that turnover joke, I was going to. All right. Stu is asking Ryan if he works for Balthus Dyer. Maybe he does. Maybe he's you know, a saboteur or something, a spy. The sun sets as twilight turns to darkness. You start your climb up the hill towards the forbidding shape silhouetted against the night sky. The citadel is less than an hour's climb. Some distance from its walls you stop to rest. A mistake, as it seems a fearful specter from which there is no escape. The hairs on your neck prickle as you, sorry, look towards it. I had something obstructing my view. But you are ashamed of your fears. With grim resolve you march onward towards the main gate, where you know guards will be waiting. You consider your options. You have already thought about claiming to be an herbalist, come to treat a guard with a fever. You could pose as a trader or an artisan. Start mentioning your options, what you guys vote for in the chat. You could pose as a trader or an artisan, perhaps a carpenter. Perhaps you could pose as Karen Carpenter or John Carpenter. You could even be a nomad seeking shelter for the night. As you ponder the possibilities and the yarns you will have to spin to the guards, you reach the main trail leading up to the gates. Two lanterns burn on either side of the portcullis. You hear muffled gruntings as you approach, and two misshapen creatures step forward, as from the book here. So those are the two guards, I guess. It looks like a werewolfy thing and a wait. This thing has like a simian
Like a
kind of
dog
shape.
and a gorilla.
Yeah, it's like a gorilla on a dog's body. Yeah, exactly right. On the left stands an ugly creature. I guess I could have read the text instead of trying to figure it out myself. Stands an ugly creature with the head of a dog and the body of a great ape. Oh yeah, they swapped heads or swapped bodies, flexing its powerful arms. Its opposite number is indeed the opposite, with the head of an ape on the body of a large dog. This latter guard approaches you on all fours. I'm kind of more concerned about the gorilla body, I think, because really a dog's most ferocious thing is its teeth, and a gorilla's
Yeah,
most ferocious thing is its pure strength and size. So it seems like this guy has the best of both worlds probably, and this one is the worst. Hey Arturo, welcome. Arturo says leave Harambe alone.
maybe the gorilla-headed one is smarter. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, because yeah, I think he would be. Anyway, the latter guard, which was this one, approaches you on all fours. It stops some meters in front of you, raises itself on its hind legs, and addresses you. Which story will you opt for? Will you pose as an herbalist? Turn to 261. Get in those votes, people. This is my chance to avoid responsibility by saying you guys made me pick the bad option. Will you pose as an herbalist? That's 261. Will you claim to be a tradesman? Turn to 230. Will you ask for shelter for the night? Turn to 20. All right. So uh, Arturo says we should go with shelter because maybe he thinks I'm probably not a good liar. Maybe that's true. I'm not
Yeah, that's what I
exactly.
was thinking.
Yeah, I figured my guy's probably not like a streetwise, roguish kind of guy. He's just he's a student in wizard school. That's a nerd. That means he's like me. Um, in fantasy world, studying magic is like studying computer science in the real world, and I have a computer science degree. Anyway, all right. So Ryan also says, ask for shelter. Why the subterfuge? All right. So I think I'm gonna go with that because I got 2 votes in the chat, and I already talked myself into that anyway. Um, it seems like the wussy choice though, so it's probably not gonna work. So let's try it anyway. Turn to
The
20.
death paragraph.
Instant death. 5 finger bookmark. Gotta put my hand right here. The ape dog tells you that no one is allowed in the Black Tower after dark. You'll have to look elsewhere for shelter. You may either resign yourself to a fight, turn to 288, or you may pick up a stone and cast a fool's gold spell on. We were just talking about how that could be used to bribe, but we didn't choose that because we decided illusions would be more valuable, except it's not actually an option to use illusion here. But that's pretty much my choice to fight them or use fool's gold. And I don't have fool's gold, so I guess we
Well,
have a
I'm
fight on our hands.
if you fight them, you could use your creature clone spell, maybe.
I'm not allowed to change my stories to unless I want to use the five finger bookmark technique, which means cheat and go back. Which I'll use that once in a while, but not like not now. And Sue says, "Tell him you're delivering a candygram." All right, I guess we're gonna fight. Let's do it. 288. Don't have a choice here. By the way, sometimes Ian Livingstone that I've seen, he's one of the authors, not of this particular book, but of Fighting Fantasy in general. He'll like on Twitter, if you say like you're having trouble in one of his games, he'll say like take 8 stamina. Yes, he said I could do it. Therefore, you know, who's to argue? And the Rhyme Master says Creatures of Havoc and House of Hell are fantastic books from Steve Jackson. Yeah, I played both of those. I actually played Creature of Havoc on a stream and I left it in progress. I usually do leave these game books in progress because I only have so much streaming time. So usually I don't finish them. I have a Sonic the Hedgehog game book in progress, as well as City of Thieves and Creature of Havoc. House of Hell, it's so hard. I wonder if Steve Jackson is the tougher author. I'm not really sure. But Creature of Havoc seems very hard as well. But anyway, the 2 creatures advance. The ape dog attacks you first, followed by the dog ape. Wait, which one is the ape dog and which one is the dog ape? We cast a spell or stand and fight. Well, unfortunately, strength and levitation. Oh, we did choose levitation. I was gonna say we didn't choose either of those spells. We did choose one levitation, but no strength, so we could levitate.
How is how is
Yep.
that gonna help you?
I don't know what we have in mind. We could float up and hope we can avoid them. Maybe go over
The gate?
the gate. I can't really. I don't really know. I can't really visualize what the scenario right now. I don't know if I could like. Maybe they're kind of between me and the gate is open, so I could just float over them to get behind them. It's levitate them. Well, I think it said in the description of the spell you could levitate objects or others or yourself, but I don't know which I would have in mind in this particular instance. And
You
Ryan says
levitate a rock into them.
it could be something like that, yeah. But then again, we can just look at their stats, by the way. And while I do have pretty crappy skill, I do have an edge on both of these guys, and their stamina is so low. I feel like we could just probably just battle it out. And you can choose which one you. Well, you fight them in turn, so I guess it would be the first one. Skill 7, I have a slight edge, not a great edge, but they only take 2 hits and then they're done. So statistically, maybe they get in like 1 hit and I get into two. Maybe 2 and 2, something like that. Which would mean my stamina would get knocked down to maybe like 17 or so. And then the dog ape should be easier. So I think I'm just gonna battle it out straightforwardly. Sound good? Stu wants me to
Yeah,
levitate them and then impale them on the top of the gate. I don't think I have that granularity of decision making regarding this how the spell is going to be cast. But let's battle it out. So I'm going to zoom in on my paper. So we have ape dogs, skill 7, stamina 4, and the other one, the dog ape, skill 6, stamina 6. Is it? Yeah. So this is man, bear, pig. No, ape dog. Wasn't there a cartoon on Nickelodeon or something called Cat Dog? It was like a half cat,
I
half
think I've
dog.
heard of that.
All right, let's do some rolling. We have our lovely dice tray here. Uh, let's call it. Should I be blue or white? I will be blue, and the enemies can be white. There's also two. Yeah, Stu said there was cat dog, and there's also two stupid dogs. Actually, I think you have to. You're supposed to roll one at a time. Does it matter actually? No, I don't think it does. Let's roll them all at once. So wait, I'm blue. The enemy is white. We are fighting ape dog first, skill 7 versus my skill 8. Okay, so this looks like we each rolled the same exact thing, which means that I have the edge in skill by 1. We have damaged them for 2 stamina. So all right, they're halfway dead. Take that ape dog. And Stu says, I think I have a cat dog computer game somewhere. If you want to see weird games, Stu plays a lot of weird games. I play weird games too, but Stu will like play like the Dora Explorer game from 2005 or something. He just plays all these weird things. All right, so I rolled higher, and it's my 8 versus 6. I'm not even going to do the skill math because my skill's higher. So we have slain the ape dog. That was easy. And the Rhyme Master said, I think these creatures put a half creature's copy spell on each other. Yeah. All right, so now we're fighting the dog ape. And once again, we rolled higher, and with our skill edge, we don't even have to do the math really. So he's down to 4 stamina. Roll again. Oof, this time I rolled terribly. I rolled snake eyes, but he rolled a 4. And since we have an edge in skill of 2, that means we tied actually. So wow. Imagine that, not actually losing on a roll of snake eyes. Next round, our 7 versus man bear pig, I mean dog ape 6. So we won that round too. And hopefully the last round. Oof, we took a beating here. Yeah, he beat us by 3 once you figure in the skill differential. So we did take 2 damage and we are knocked down to 19 stamina. And I thought I got this thing to not be fuzzy, the camera, but I'm not going to complain about camera fuzziness. I'm just going to keep going with it. It's good enough, right? You can see what's going on at least. All right, and this time we annihilated him. We totally beat the crap out of him that round. So dog ape and ape dog bite the dust. We did take 1 hit for 2 stamina damage though. So not a perfect battle, but not bad. And Stu says ape dog's mother, stamina 3,000, skill 3,000. You're reminding me of when we played that Beowulf game with uh I don't remember what the rest of my sentence was going to be, but yeah, that Beowulf game book. If you kill them both in battle, turn to 32. Thanks for hanging out with me, by the way, guys. And thanks, I got 4 likes so far. Woohoo! Thanks a lot. Yeah, Grendel's mom was going to talk about. By the way, I have a secret weapon here. These are some special dice that I got Rob Bob from when we played Tunnels and Trolls. It was our lucky saving roll dice. If we ever need a really lucky roll on 2 dice, I'm pulling out the gold dice. They're not
They're
loaded or
solid
anything. I'm
gold.
just superstitious. They're solid gold. Yeah. All right. If you kill them both in battle, turn to 32. I took the very clandestine approach to getting into the gate. Just attack the creepy creatures. Gold ones are awesome, says Ryan. Yeah, they're pretty neat. I guess the only thing is that the pips aren't really super visible on camera. I mean, you can tell. But yeah, they're cool. These are from Chessex. I get most of my dice from Chessex because they have really nice D6s, 6-sided dice. I mostly play games that use basic 6-sided dice. And Stu says they cut your balls off your dead. Oh, 1,000 people rush out. You killed Man Bear. Man Bear Pig killed him. Okay. Stepping over the bodies, you approach the gate and call for the gatekeeper. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to imagine that. Like I apparently don't have a sense of I better just rush in there. I'm like, hey, gatekeeper, I killed people. So let me finish reading. I'm sorry. Hiding in the shadows as he approaches. Okay, so I'm hiding. He sees the body and comes out to investigate, whereupon you nip inside the gate and lock him out. Okay, okay, so I did play it smart. I thought I was being really stupid. Turned to two
I
fifty
thought you
bucks.
were like trying to intimidate him
Yeah, like, you want some of this? Look what I did to your ape
into
people,
just letting you in.
your ape dog and your dog ape. No combination of dog and ape can stop me. If you try just a straightforward ape, most people can't defeat an ape in combat.
I
Here,
could.
you could.
No.
You walk forward into a spacious open courtyard, surrounded by large walls. Various lights are burn. Will it be burning? Will that be the rest of the word? Burning. And groups of figures. Yeah, bear with me as I screw on this arm. It comes loose all the time. I have to actually do a valid repair job on it sometime. I am screwing the right arm right now. We can keep reading this though. And groups of figures are shuffling around in the darkness. In the center of the courtyard is a large monument of some kind, perhaps a fountain. Looking across the yard, and we're up here by the way, you can see what appears to be the main entrance to the tower. Will you creep around the wall towards the tower? Stride, that's 222 by the way. Stride boldly across the courtyard, turn to 179. Tiptoe through the tulips, through the shadows towards one of the groups of people, figures. That's 321. Maybe
Well,
I
I
should
don't see what the point of number two is, because you might get like caught.
stride boldly toward. I think I want to. Yeah, I think we should try to be clandestine. But Stu says no guts, no glory. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not like even bravely facing anything specifically. I'm just being stupid by boldly. That's what it seems like to me, anyway. And I think Rob Bob agrees.
Yeah,
The point is, if someone sees you, they'll think you belong there. Oh, well, Stu has a good point. We try to blend in and act normal
that's true.
rather than being creepy. Anybody else have any opinions in the chat? Stu might have just talked me into that. I don't know. Leroy Jenkins and attack. There's no option to do that. All right, let's stride boldly across the courtyard. We're gonna be bold. Join
Okay.
group.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
The Ryan Master says join group. I guess you mean the third choice. Tiptoe through the shadows towards one of the groups. I think I was talked into doing the second choice, so that's what we'll do. 179. All right. As you step out of the shadows towards the center of the courtyard, a voice in the wind cries, "Halt! Stand your ground!" You whirl about, but can see no one addressing you. You take another couple steps. Again, the eerie voice orders you to stop. This time, an arrow zings through the air and lands close to your left foot. You jump back. Still, you can see no one, but now you are stuck. And Stu says, "Well, I guess not. They just shoot random people." Yeah. Oh well. You can press on forwards very cautiously. Turn to 378. Make a dash for the monument in the center of the yard. Turn to 125. Cast a shielding spell around yourself in advance. Should we just do that? We got a shield. It's our one shielding from the game, but might as well use spells, if they seem appropriate.
Uh,
That's what I'm thinking.
hmm. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan thinks we should save the shield. Okay. I feel like pressing forward, we're gonna get hit. It's probably not gonna kill us. It'll be like maybe take 3 stamina of damage or something. But then you would have to probably make a similar choice again. Now what do you do? Stu says, I like using the shield. This way you can be a badass. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Maybe if I just come in there like arrows can't harm me, everybody will flee in terror. It is probably true that there's probably subsequent places in the game in which it'll be useful to have shielding, but well, yeah, you can't just save the shield
I
forever
think you should use
or
it.
save the spells in general and forever. I mean, and Brian says, but I'm a guy who saves things and ends up never using them. Yeah, you're like the guy who beats a video RPG with 99 healing potions left. I do that too sometimes. All right, let's use shielding. It seems valid. Seems justifiable, I think. 341. 341 is down here. You cast the spell around yourself and advance. 4 or 5 hours sing towards you, but stop in the air a meter before they reach you, dropping harmlessly to the ground. You reach the monument. Remember to cross the shielding spell off your list. Turn to 209. Okay. I didn't really realize I was really necessarily trying to go to the monument. Maybe that's what's just in the center of the. I don't know. Okay, so shielding is off. I'm assuming if I just tried to run towards the monument, I probably would have just had to have made a luck roll, or press your luck, or test your luck. Not press your luck. That's a game show. But in this case, I guess it avoids that. I'm just kind of speculating. 209. You cast your eyes over the strange structure. It appears not to be a fountain, but a temple of some sort. To one side there is a door, which you may investigate, or you may press onwards towards the citadel itself. If you wish to press onward, turn to 156. If you wish to investigate, turn to 362. I can't just not investigate. That's how I am anytime I'm given a choice like this. Ooh, that's too bright. Me playing with my lighting. Anyway, I'm going to investigate. Turn to 362. The door opens and the small room inside is lit by candlelight. Cautiously, you look inside to see a strange sight. On a stone altar in the middle of the chamber are three silver chalices. Now I'm imagining towards the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade with the all the different holy grails. Anyway, on a stone altar in the middle of the chamber are three silver chalices, each containing a different colored liquid. One clear, one red, and one milky.
Drink it.
Drink them all! Fluttering around the altar are three small winged gremlin type creatures, all chirping excitedly. And I guess this is the picture of them right here, as well as the altar with the chalices of liquid. Honestly, I don't think I would drink any random liquid I found lying around, let alone any guarded by random gremlin creatures. They look kind of like impish demons to me. Uh, and I don't even know if I'm going to have the choice to drink them, but it just feels like I probably will. And Ryan said, speaking of indie, I got to be honest, the new trailer looks good. I didn't actually check that out. Anyway, every so often, one lands on the altar and takes a sip of the milky liquid. The open door creaks on its hinges and startles them. They whirl around to see you and become very excited. You may either enter the chamber or close the door quickly and press onward towards the citadel. I can't back out. Now let's fight him. Or talk.
Well, you don't know that you're gonna fight them.
We might just have a nice tea party with those random liquids.
Yeah,
Please drink random
if
liquids.
they're drinking it, then why don't you?
The milky one they like. However, they're also gremlins. Could be gremlin milk.
Yeah.
As you enter, the gremlins flutter and squeak excitedly. Squeak, squeak. They then fly past you, through the door and out into the night. Oh boy, I let them free. You are now alone with the chalices. Will you risk taking a drink? If so, will you choose the clear liquid, 298, the red liquid, 267, the milky liquid, 92? So you gotta figure probably they would make one bad, one good. I don't know about the third. I don't know. I really don't know, but I don't think they would make them all bad. Although realistically, you probably shouldn't go into a random temple with monsters and drink random liquid. But
I
Arturo,
think you should drink one.
I think we should drink one. Arturo says gremlin milk is delicious, so we should choose 92, the milky liquid. All right, and that's what they were drinking. Says Stu. It's probably poison for you. Yeah, I kind of agree
Yeah, I
with
think you should
Stu.
drink like the red one or the clear one.
Okay, so it's gremlin alcohol, says the Rye Master. It could be clear or red. I'll let Ryan. You choose red or Rye Master and or Ryan. I'm listening to Stu too much. So I'm letting you guys choose clear or red. You can decide too, Rob Bob. You can weigh in if you want.
I vote for red.
Red. Ryan says red.
We can
Rob
do a
Bob says red.
poll.
I've been listening to Stu too much, so I'm ignoring his vote for clear. Usually Stu is right about things, though. So, all right, we're going with red. Ryan says red. All right, Ryan might have played this game. He's a fighting fantasy nut. I say that in a good way, but he also might be tricking me. But we're going with red. Drinking it's probably random blood now. The blood of some sacrifice they made.
It's gremlin blood.
I'm gonna use the 5 finger bookmark. No, I'm going with it. I'm rolling with it. It was my choice.
It's fine.
As you grasp the chalice, the liquid turns green, then a dirty brown in front of your eyes. Wait a minute. If I picked up some liquid and saw it changing color, I don't know. I should have another choice again to back out. But anyway, it smells putrid, but you take a sip. See, it didn't tell me the smell before either. That would have figured into my choice. With a grimace, you spit out. You are drinking muddy water. You leave the chamber and head for the citadel. Turn to 156 and lose 1 luck point. Boo. All right, back to the citadel at 156. The citadel is really the main body of the dungeon, I would think. So we got to get there eventually, right? As you stride across the open courtyard, you notice that you are walking alongside a small mound, almost like a buried pipeline running from the black tower to the temple. What? I'm trying to imagine that. It's like a pipeline buried in dirt or something, running from the black tower to the temple. How do I know it's not going the other way? You bend over to investigate it. Could it perhaps have been made by a mole of some kind? As you touch the mound, it caves in, and to your horror, a long gray tentacle covered in warty growths burst out of the ground and wrapped itself around your leg. How will you fight this thing? And here is the picture. Burst out of the ground, it's wrapped around my leg. And Stu says, no, Ryan says, yeah, is your guy an idiot? Why still drinking? And Stu says, no, you are true. Mark, Rob, Bob, and Rymester are idiots. We're all idiots, except no, everybody's an idiot except Stu. And Arturo says, is it a Jenkins pipeline referencing our workplace in which we use a tool called Jenkins to do boring stuff that nobody wants to hear about here? So, well, we do have a levitation spell. We have a fire spell. We could just hack at it with our sword. What do you guys think? What do you think, Rob Bob? I think we should use
Mm,
I don't know. Again, I'm kind of not quite understanding what I would use levitation for in this instance. If it's wrapped around my
maybe
leg,
it's really powerful. You go really fast. I don't know.
it might just say you send some rock over to it or whatever, but I don't know what it has in mind for the choice. And Ryan says, "Is the Nord Stream pipeline that America blew up? Is it the Nord Stream? Exactly, allegedly." Uh, I feel like I want to save fire for later, so I don't know, either levitation or sword.
I think
Mm,
maybe just sword.
just sword it. All right, chop at
I
it the
mean,
old-fashioned way.
I don't know. I guess
All right, we're gonna sword it, saving our magic. Hopefully, this is not a bad idea. That's what I say every time I make a choice in any game book, though. You draw your sword and hack at the tentacle. The tentacle will not fight back as will a normal creature, but instead is trying to drag you into a large hole in the ground, which is opening around its base. That doesn't sound good. You do not need to roll for the tentacle as it has an attack strength of 15 and a stamina score of 2. Throw for combat in the normal way, but if your own attack strength comes to less than 15, do not subtract any points from your own stamina. However, if you do not defeat the creature within 3 attack rounds, it succeeds in dragging you into its lair and your adventure is over. If you do defeat it, you can peel the tentacle off your leg and proceed to the main entrance to the Black Tower. Turn to 218. All right, so this should be doable, really. Strength. Basically, we have 3 shots at rolling our skill plus the 2 dice equaling 15 or higher, which basically means 7 or higher, 3 chances. Um, it's unlikely to fail that 3 times because if you look at the bell curve for 2 dice, basically 7 is the peak. Um, So it's something like a 60%. I would roughly estimate we have a 60% chance of succeeding per roll, and we get 3 rolls. But nonetheless, I am nervous. So let's see what happens. All right, 7 or higher. Bam! Take that. Not only
Egg
was
doubles,
it.
add and roll over.
Hey,
No.
Arturo said golden dice. Too late. We did better than the golden dice could ever do. Well, maybe they could tie it, but you're not wearing your watch, Mark. What? I am wearing my watch. Do you want to see it? I wear it on my right hand. Uh, and you can see how many steps I got today. 7,400. But yeah, we totally owned that tentacle. Take that. That was a no doubter, as they say in baseball. All right. I'm happy. I'm satisfied we didn't use a spell on it. 218 is where we're going. By the way, sometime we should play one of those sorcery books in which we can try to remember the actual spell codes together. Like, wait, I don't remember which one it was. 218. In front of you is a large wooden door. Here we go. Dungeon crawl time, folks. This is when we have to get the map ready. So I have this blank piece of paper that I'm going to draw the map on. I literally have no idea what to expect. I assume it's pretty standard dungeony stuff. But we shall see. In front of you is a large wooden door firmly locked. You may either knock 3 times for the guard, turn to 118, or you may use a strength spell to try to open it. I don't have a strength spell. I hope Stu's joking. He says if you drink the clear potion, it gives you 5 stamina, 3 luck, 3 extra spells, and an extra life. You are BSTV, right, Stu? An extra life is what makes me think it's BS. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, right. And Arturo says you would have the strength spell if you had drunk the milk. Milk gives you strength, right? Extra life was the clear.
Makes
Okay.
your bones stronger.
All right. I guess I'm knocking 3 times. I don't know why 3 times. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. And once again, my stand arm needs a little bit of a screwdriver assist. Sorry that I have to do this periodically. All right. Here, look who answers the door. Hello. The door opens and a large, brutish creature steps out. It has a sharp horn in the middle of its forehead, and its skin appears to be armor-plated. It grunts to ask you what you want, and demands the password before letting you. Oh no, I don't know the password. I guess I have to do something special to get that. Demands the password before letting you in. Do you know the password? If so, turn to 273. If not, you'll have to bluff your way in. And I like how they described him. They could have just said he's a rhino, but a rhino man. But they said he's a large brutish creature with a horn in his head or whatever. All right, I guess we have to bluff our way in. We are not playing this game optimally, you can tell. 198. Looks like I'm doing the herbalist lie that I elected not to do before. I decided to just be straightforward last time. You think quickly. You reach into your bag and pull out a handful of weeds, which I just happen to have on me. I collect weeds. Showing them to the creature, you explain that you are an herbalist. Sorry, it's apparently I think we usually say herbalist here in the U.S., but maybe in the U.K. they say herbalist with a hard H, so or a non-silent H. So a you are a herbalist or a herbalist, and have come to treat the Lord Librarian, who is critically ill. The messenger never told you of any passwords. Will he believe you? Test your luck. All right, let's do it. Is Bebop or
Saving roll dice.
Sorry?
Saving roll dice.
Oh, you want to do them now? All right, we're gonna roll a special saving roll dice. Here we go. Bringing out the goldies. That's not my roll. That's not. I called it before they fell. But as you can see, that would have been a terrible roll. That's because it was not a real roll. So anyway, we have to test our luck. Our luck is reduced by 1 from our previous incident, so we need an 8 or less. Wait, an 8 or less? That actually would have been a great roll then. It is less, right? That would make sense. If your luck is higher, you would have to. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that's my roll. No, no, I clearly called it not a valid roll there. So here we go, eight or less. Let's do it. Bam! I can't
All
complain
right.
about that either. Three, and it's so sparkly. It's so shiny. All right. So we lose one luck because every time you test your luck, that happens, and we're down to seven, unfortunately. But hey, that's how it goes. But we are lucky, so he believes you and lets you in. Turn to 177. But yeah, Rocksteady is the Rhino, by the way, Ryan, in Ninja Turtles, and Bebop is the Warthog dude. Where are we going? 177. And the Rhino Master says the Rhino Man is a beast. Okay, so I guess he's fought the Rhino Man before, and it's good that I managed to bluff him. Sorry, left down the screen. You are in a narrow hallway. This continues for several meters and ends in a doorway. I guess it's time to start mapping. Let's see. I don't know exactly what directions we're going and stuff, but I'm gonna start in the center. And there was door with the rhino. I think I'm just gonna write like circles and lines maybe. Rhino and ends in a doorway. Halfway along the passage, you can see an archway where some steps lead downward. Okay, will you go forwards to the door or creep down the steps? So let me think. Yeah. And Ryan says he looked it up, and that it's true that he's a beast. So I'm trying to think of how I want to actually write this. Steps halfway along the passage archway where some steps lead downward. Or is the door? I don't know. What should I write? A door like here and steps like here. Some terrible mapping skills I have, but hopefully they'll do the job. All right. I don't know if nobody has any suggestions. I'll just pick randomly, pretty much. Forwards to the door. How about
Okay.
turn to five? You try the handle of the door and it turns, opening into another hallway. Some distance along, the passageway turns to the right and ends shortly in another door. On this door is a sign which reads, "Please ring for butler." A rope, evidently the bell, hangs by the door. Will you ring as instructed, turn to 40, or try the door handle, turn to 361? So I went forward, made a right, and there was a bell for the butler. I'm just drawing the map. Butler bell. All right. Let's see. Door handle or butler? Ring the bell. It seems silly. We don't want to be like that obvious that we're in here, do we? Start ringing bells. I think we should try the door handle. That's probably a trap. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I wouldn't ring that.
All right, let's do it. 361. You die. Oh man. Oh, I just saw the Baltus Dyer battle. I didn't mean to, but I glanced at it. He's gonna be trouble. Let me just tell you that by glancing at his stats. Don't look at the Hydra up there. Again, the door opens, but as you open it, you hear the deafening clang of an alarm bell. Ding, 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 ding. Well, I guess it's one bell or another, right? Test your luck. If you're lucky, turn to 297. All right, so now we are down to 7 luck. We must roll a 7 or less. We have to use our lucky saving roll dice sparingly. So I'm going to roll the blue dice. And we missed it by 1. That is an 8. So that's what I get for not using the lucky dice. And I think we still lose one luck point regardless of failing, so we're down to 6 luck. And by the way, since we had 9 luck initially, if we cast the luck spell, it will restore 4. So I think that once we get down to 5 luck, we're at 6 now, it would make sense to just use the luck spell kind of immediately, I think. In any case, we're not lucky and there's an alarm going off, so that does not sound good, does it?
I would have rather had a butler bell than an alarm bell.
Well, we made our choice. Now we've got to live with it. You pause to consider in a state of panic. Hold on, is this the right? Oh, it says is ahead the it's like kind of ignoring, not even talking about the alarm anymore, which makes me think I went to the wrong paragraph. Let me just rewind the stream to make sure I didn't screw up. Do, 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 do. Rewinding, rewinding. If you're unlucky, turn to 126. So, okay, I'm in the right place. I don't know. I guess the state of panic makes sense given the alarm. Ahead, the passageway forks to the left and to the right. And as you're trying to decide which direction to take, three creatures. Yeah, I guess it totally makes sense. It alerted the creatures to my presence. 3 creatures emerged from the left-hand passage. Calling the noises you heard footsteps was not entirely accurate, as you will see. Interesting. Okay, so let me draw my little bit
A
on
snake.
the map here. So what did it say? It went to the left and the right. Yeah. So it went through the alarm bell thingy, the butler bell, and there's a passage to the left and the right. Okay. I know you can't really see what I'm drawing too well here, but that's all right. Turn to 316. So I guess we're fighting whatever these things without feet are. The feetless people, the feetless wonders. Wow, this is interesting. Okay. They are wheelies, wheel people, and they have daggers and they have hands instead of feet. The footsteps you heard, which really ought to be called hand steps, belong to the three wheelies, which now roll down the passageway towards you, forcing you back to the door. These creatures are peculiar beasts, having instead of legs an extra set of hands. The Wheelers from Return to Oz. Oh, I don't think I've ever read or seen the Return to Oz. And Arturo says I think I saw those guys in the subway during my last trip to New York. Yeah, that sounds about right, Arturo. These creatures are peculiar beasts, having instead of legs an extra set of hands. They move by cartwheeling along at quite a rapid pace. They probably did a performance for you on the subway, Arturo, and then wanted your money. Their heads, or at least their faces, are set in the center of their chests. While they are not well practiced at swordsmanship, given their awkward means of movement, they are excellent knife throwers. Oh boy. Grasping knives from their belts as they spin along, they can launch them at a rapid fire pace, like large Catherine wheels. At the moment, 3 such knives are speeding their way towards you. You may use either a shielding spell, though we used our shielding spell, to protect you or test your luck. Well, I guess we're gonna test our luck. We need a 6 or less. Should we bring out the golden dice? We're
Alright.
gonna bring out the golden
Only you
dice.
had an actual shield and not just the spells.
Yeah, right. All right, here we go. Time for the golden boys to shine. Oh, you failed me, golden boy. This one looks good. I'm like, all right, what's this one? I started over here. 6. Don't. All right, so we failed. We're about to die or take a lot of damage. And I guess we can just use the luck spell. I'm not really sure of the limitations of when you can cast the spells. I think it basically said as long as you're not in a combat. Can I cast it now then? I don't know. I guess. Let's just say we can. Although the combat's probably about to start. So we have 1 luck spell left. But our luck is back up to its initial 9, so not bad, I guess. Too bad we didn't have it earlier. All right, let's get some dagger damage here. It's either going to be some stamina damage or instant death. Let's find out which. Hopefully it's just some stamina. That would make sense. Maybe like 2 stamina for each dagger, so 6 altogether. Let's see what it actually says. Throw 1 die, it says. I'd rather roll it. Um, if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, then this number of knives hit you. Each knife does 2 stamina points worth of damage. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, then they miss you. Alright, so I have like an extra layer of luck here. I failed my luck, but I can still get lucky. You must prepare to counterattack either with an illusion spell or by drawing your sword. Well, we could do illusion if it comes down to it, but let's see. How many hit us or do none hit us? And we rolled a 4, which means none of them hit us. Woohoo! Alright. So do we use our illusion or draw our sword? Our sword's been doing pretty good so far. But let's see. I don't know. It seems like they could potentially be pretty nasty if they're each chucking tons of knives. It might work something like you fight one at a time and the other ones have a chance of hitting you with knives as you do it. But Ryan says just sword him. All right. What does anybody else think? I think we can hit. Yeah, let's try. Let's try to take him.
Yeah.
Let's try to take these wheelies. So we're gonna go to 346. Save our illusion for another day. As the wheelies see you draw your sword, they stop and chatter excitedly. One of them, evidently the leader, sends the smallest one back up the passage, presumably to fetch help. The other two draw knives and roll slowly towards you. Resolve this battle. Fight each in turn. So first wheelie 7 skill, 6 stamina. Second 6 and 5. This is essentially like that first fight. They had lower stamina in the first fight. First fight meaning the dog apes. And Stu says I suggest you use the sword to pop a wheelie. All right, so here we go. First wheelie 7-6. Second is 6-5. 7-6. 6-5. Wheelie 1 and wheelie 2. Okay, let's do some rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Once again, I will declare that the white dice are the enemies and the blue are me. So the first one I have an edge of 1 skill against. So it's like I add 1 to my die roll essentially. And I lost that roll though, because he rolled 2 higher. Therefore my edge of 1 doesn't compensate for the difference of 2. So I take 2 damage. Stamina at 17. The next round. Papa Wheelie, like Stu says. Okay, this time we rolled higher, thus we win. Wheelie number 1 has 4 stamina. Should you have only taken 1 damage? No, it's 2 per hit, unless you use test your luck to soften the blow. Round 3, I've totally outrolled them very well that time. 2 damage, and next hit will finish Wheelie number 1. Oof, did not do it. He beat me by 1 again, so 2 damage, down to 15 stamina. Oof, again he beat me. 2 stamina, down to 13. We do have 2 stamina spells, so it's not the end of the world if we get low on stamina, but these rolls are kind of sucking, kind of disappointing. Yeah, I've never seen Return to Oz. I should one day. All right, I beat him now. So this wheelie number 1 goes down after getting in 3 solid hits, unfortunately. Wheelie number 2 is up next. He has lesser skill and stamina, so that's good. He's a weaker. weaker opponent. Our skill edge is 2, and he rolls better by 4, so unfortunately we take a hit again. 11 stamina. Oof, this time, well, I saw my roll of a 3, but fortunately he only rolled a 4, and since we have a skill edge of 2, we actually won that round. So 3 stamina for the wheelie. And once again, same kind of deal. He rolled higher by 1, but our skill edge is 2, so he takes 2 damage. Hopefully we will finish off the wheelie right now. Finish him. Looks like we tied, so it's a miss. And we have defeated the wheelie number 2 by rolling 9 versus his 6. So wheelie number 2 goes down. All right. So yeah, they did do a number on us, though. We took 8 damage altogether. So we have 11 stamina left. All right, Farouja Balk. I have a friend who recently passed away who looked like her, so she used to use the online handle Farouja. Yeah, she looked ish like her. Now I'm sad. uh, anyway, if you win, you may take either the left-hand passage, turn to 243, or the right hand. Which one did they run up to? They came from. Let me show you my map here, my crappy looking map. So we are right here on my crappy map, and this is the passageway from which they came. And I believe um, the one who ran away went back this way as well. So if I go left, it would be perhaps chasing the one who ran away. And since it did hint at that he's fetching help, maybe it would be a good idea to actually try to catch him. I'm kind of making a few assumptions here, though. I don't really know if it's really going to help. But Stu said I should go to 2 because you can't die on 2. I think I reasoned myself into going left, though, so I'm going to go to 243. Now it's probably an army of wheelies. Army of wheelies. The passageway runs along for several meters and then ends at a door. I'm going to draw my crappy door again. You listen at the door and hear a deep, heavy breathing coming from inside. I don't know if that's how it sounds. Didn't say it was like a moan, so I'm just making up stuff. It's just breathing, as if some large creature were asleep in there. Cautiously, you try the handle, and the door opens. Just inside, although the room is dark, you can see that a very large goblin-like creature is asleep on the floor. You may either risk tiptoeing inside the room, turn to 352, or you may return to the fork and try the right-hand passage, which was number 2. Hey, Vextrexer, how's it going, man? Vextrexer is one of the world's biggest Vextrex fans, and I haven't done a Vextrex stream in a while. But we're doing Fighting Fantasy tonight in honor of Fighting Fantasy's 40th birthday. This stream was kind of promoted by the official Fighting Fantasy Twitter account. Hence, I have 6 viewers right now, which is like more than I usually have. And I have 8 likes, which is really close to a record for me. What do you mean this is not a Vectrex game? Asked Arturo. Yeah, sorry, it's actually not. And now that I'm talking about Vectrex, our viewers went down by 2. So now it says 4 viewers. Anyway, yeah, let's go to let's risk tiptoeing. 352. We're gonna tiptoe past the large goblin-like creature. Probably wake him up if we fail a roll or something like that. Oh, it's the guy in the inside cover art. He is the goblin-like creature. This guy right here. Take him in, breathe him in. You tiptoe into the room. The room is gloomy and the air is damp. A crude wooden post is nailed to one wall with several hooks on it. Vectrex said we should port Fighting Fantasy to Vectrex. There are two doors in the far wall leading onwards. If you could pull it off, I'd be impressed. All this text in vectors. On the post hanging on the wall is a makeshift mirror, but as your torch lights up the mirror, its reflection is thrown across the eyes of the sleeping giant, who grunts and stirs. One eye opens and then another, and seeing you, it springs to its feet. Where are we here? It grabs an axe, which it was using as a pillow. That's not the best pillow, but okay. And quickly undoes the leather sheath to reveal a sharp bronze head. The giant creature is a Gark! Large and brutish, Garks are half goblin, half giant, bred by master sorcerers for their aggressive character. Stu says you should have covered the torch, dumbass. Yeah, I agree. Although somewhat stupid, they are rather tough beasts with a warlike nature. Well, make a dash. My choices are make a dash for the doors, turn to 203. Draw your sword ready for a fight, turn to 16. Apologize for disturbing the creature, turn to 216. Prepare to use a spell, turn to 11. And Vectrexer says text is not the problem. I think it's about the size. I think it would be hard to cram a lot of text, like paragraph wise, on Vectrex. If someone can pull it off, I'd be impressed though. Um, and Stu asks which spells you have. I was thinking of maybe something like illusion might be good. It actually mentioned though illusion works less well on dumb things, so maybe that's the wrong choice. But I don't know. I was assuming it meant like if you fight like a blob with no brain that it wouldn't really work on them. That's what I was thinking more like it meant when it said it doesn't work as well on dumb things. But we do have two stamina, two creature copy. Hey, should we try and bust out one of those bad boys? Well, I guess we have to see what it lets us do though. We have levitation, skill, luck, ESP, illusion, and fire. And Ryan says you never answered, Mark. Are you going to do a Lemmings books game book stream? Oh, I must have missed that. Yeah, totally. I didn't buy the book for no reason. Okay, let's prepare to use a spell and see what it lets me choose. I'm a little concerned about the way it's phrased. Prepare to use a spell. Is he just gonna like kick the crap out of me before I can pull it off? But it seems like a good option anyway. I think. So we'll see. Turn to 11. And Rhymaster said I've done the whole maps for the first 26 books so far. Wow. I'm planning on making a map to every book in the future. These books are so well put together when maps are completed. No spoilers. That's pretty awesome, the Rhymaster. I'm assuming you try to make them look pretty. All right, I lost my arm here. There we go. 11. You may use either a Fool's Gold spell, creature copy, ESP, or weakness. If you have none of these, you'll have to draw your sword. Okay. I'm thinking. Well, we don't have weakness or Fool's Gold, so it's either ESP or creature copy. ESP would let me read his mind, which is probably something like me kill you. It's possibly has some hidden weakness I could learn, or some maybe cowardice in his heart, and then I can intimidate her. Why can't I use fire? That's a great question, too. I guess it's because it's a limited game. What would be nice is if they had I don't want to go too much on a tangent, but the Tunnels and Trolls solo adventures, some of them have what's called a magic matrix, so that it doesn't have to list every choice with a paragraph. It has like a chart with each spell and the paragraph number on the other axis, and you just cross-reference, and it tells you the effect, or in some cases, which paragraph you have to turn to. It's a very neat way of handling magic. But anyway, creature copy or ESP, what do you guys think? Creature copy would help us match his probably brute strength. We would make a clone of him and they would fight. ESP might give us some nice clue. I'm thinking of leaning towards creature copy, and Ryan says creature copy too. Yeah, let's. Oh, we got a vote for ESP from Arturo. What do you think, Mr. Rob Bob?
I don't think ESP.
You don't think
Um,
ESP?
I don't know.
Well, what
Could
did you
do
say?
weakness.
We don't have weakness.
Do you have that?
No.
Uh,
Let's do creature copy. And Stu says he thinks we're effed. I'm doing creature copy. 262. We have two creature copies. This is our first of the two uses that we have. Okay. 262 is right here. As you cast the spell, an identical Gark, similarly armed, appears before you. At your command, the battle starts. Gark, skill 7, stamina 11. So we actually have higher skill than it, but it would probably put a beating on us. We would, yeah, I mean, even though the wheelies really hit us hard. But yeah, it is weaker than I would expect. I was expecting like maybe 9 or 10 skill. A lot of times in Final Fantasy they do kind of lean on not making the skill higher. As soon as anything has a higher skill than you, they're winning the majority of combat rolls and they really beat you down fast. So it is kind of consistent with how Fighting Fantasy tends to work. But their 11 stamina matches are 11, so that could be hard to deal with. Anyway, we just watch the two of them fight first, and then we jump in if our Gark dies. So that's kind of neat. Let's see how this plays out. So, how should I do this? Gark, Gark Brooks, we'll call him. Our Gark can be Gark Brooks. Skill 7, stamina 11. And over here we have Gark Brooks. All right. So let's use different colors just for the fun of it. I had other dice. Where did I put them? All right, over here. Gark Brooks is going to be red versus the bad Gark will be white. All right, so basically, just to have matching skill, there's no point in doing the math regarding skill differences. It's just high roller does 2 damage to the other, basically, and they don't have a luck score, so neither of them can. I'm assuming I can't use luck, so just see what happens. All right, Gark Brooks wins round 1, so the Gark has 9 stamina left. Gark Brooks kicks the crap out of him with a double 6, a 12. Good going, Gark Brooks. Oh, looks like the main baddie Gark got the edge on Gark Brooks this time, so Gark Brooks has 9 stamina. Oh, once again, the opposing Gark gets the better of Gark Brooks, so now they each have 7 stamina. So it's a tie battle so far. And Gark Brooks takes this round. 5 stamina for the evil Gark. Uh, evil Gark wins that round. 5 and 5. It's kind of like how you would expect equally matched opponents to be equally beating each other. As Stu said, you should be able to sneak by while they're fighting. This is a stupid mechanic. It could be some paragraphs let you do that. Oh, Gark Brooks gets another double 6. Nice. It seems like the worst case now. Look at this. If Gark Brooks bites it with 3 consecutive losses, I only have to deal with a stamina 3 Gark. So it's just a great thing. But I think he'll win, right? Yeah, look at that. 1 stamina left for the evil Gark. And one more roll should do it. Okay, that did not happen. So Gark Brooks has 3 stamina. But yeah, it could be it could be that some paragraphs have written into it that you can use the clone and then do something special like sneak away. But I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. Oh, I'm re-rolling the one that escaped, although I think it was actually a 6. But hopefully this is anything but a. Oh, actually, this is a win, no matter what I roll here. Huh. All right, so Gark Brooks beats him. Yay! Take that, Gark. Okay. If either you or your Gark defeat the creature, turn to 180. Let me bring this back a little. I'm kind of gradually pushing it towards the rear of my desk. The great Gark lies dead on the ground. You wait for a minute to see whether the commotion will attract any guards, but all appears to be safe. You go through the creature's effects, but find little of value. Inside a pouch strung around his waist are 6 gold pieces, I'll take it, and an ornate hairbrush. Can I take a friggin' axe? I can only take gold pieces and a hairbrush? You may take these with you if you wish. Alright. I guess I'll take them. I mean, I might as well take the gold, and I have 6 gold. Oh, great, there's a mosquito in the house. There, I won my skill roll and have slain the mosquito. So 6 gold, and get out of here, dead mosquito. And items of equipment, we now have a hairbrush, or ornate hairbrush, so it's very decorative or something. Because I guess a grok or whatever it's called, a gark has to brush its hair too. Ornate hairbrush, okay. Copy doesn't stay with you. Yeah, the copy doesn't stay with you. Sorry, I got this thing in the wrong place. All right, you decide to continue onwards to 99. Spend the rest of your adventure brushing your hair, suggests Stu. That's a good idea. I mean, maybe it gives you power. It gives you grok power if you brush your hair repeatedly. Giving my arm a screw again. I'm sure there's some joke in there that Stu's itching to say. All right, 99. Will you take either the left-hand door, 52, or the right-hand door, 38? Wait. So I went into this room and found the Gark. So I think that's what I did, right? Gark and left-hand door. I might be drawing this wrong. Anyway, it's kind of arbitrary. Right sound good? Yeah, let's go to the right door. Spider-Man. Look at that. I have to fight Spider-Man. Sorry, I got this map in the face. All right, the door opens into a short passageway which is paved with small stones. A short distance further on, an ornately carved door, to match the ornate hairbrush, marks the end of the passageway. But just before the door, a side passage leads off to the left. You approach the door, listening for any signs of life inside. As your hand touches the handle, a voice says, "Do not knock, just enter," from inside. Will you enter the room as suggested? Turn to 132. Oh, Spider-Man was in the next paragraph, I guess. Or will you decide against this room and take the passageway leading off to the left? This always happens when I draw a map. It's like, I'm like, all right, let me just, I'll start at some point in the center. And I go, before you know it, I'm already going off the map. But let me try to grasp the layout here. A short distance further is a door at the end of the passageway. Okay. But just before the door, a side passage leads off to the left. Yeah, that makes me go north up here. So there's a door here and a passage up there. All right. Do not knock, just enter. Ryan says Mark does have a very full head of hair. Thank you. And the Ryan Master says, "Good, hair's all over the place. It needs a brush." Yeah. Ryan says, "Always go right." I'm gonna go into the door. They say, "Don't knock." It doesn't give me the choice to knock though. That's 132. You enter a room which is evidently a library of some sort. Books stretch from ceiling to floor on each wall, and several tables and chairs are lined down the center of the room. At the far end sits a dark-skinned man who looks up at you from a book over narrow eyeglasses. Behind him is a door. "Yes, what is it?" he snaps. "Which book are you looking for?" You scan the various shelves which are labeled. What do you ask him for? Biographies of Balthus Dyer, turn to 18. Secrets of the Black Tower, turn to 238. Creatures of the Kingdom of Kragan Rock, not Fraggle Rock. Kragan Rock, turn to 375. Oh, you guys like 375. I'm immediately drawn to the first two because I think knowing about Baltus Dyer could be very useful, and Secrets of the Black Tower could be very useful. The creatures, I guess, could be good too, but I feel like most of them are just grunts. But yeah, I guess it could be good. Maybe there is some secrets to these creatures that would be good to know. Any other opinions? What about you, Rob Bob? Maybe I'll go with 375. That's what the people want.
Uh, sure.
And Rydemaster says 18, but I think we're going with 375 due to popular opinion. 375. Maybe we could read all of them. That would be nice, but the game probably limits you somehow. He indicates a book on the shelf, which is an alphabetical listing of all sorts of creatures. Will you turn, by the way, right here, will you turn to the section on calicorms, 263, mix, 135, Ganges, 63. Like the Ganges River? I don't know. I guess we'll go to the first one. I don't know what any of these things are supposed to be. Yeah, actually, I kind of like phonetically the Ganges. I'm gonna go to 63. You turn to the index and look up the reference. Turning to the correct page, you are dismayed to find that the section has been ripped out of the book. Sorry, I'm trying to process if there's a reason why they mentioned why they gave me the choice. Then is it like supposed to be a hint that people don't want me to learn about Ganges, or just a waste of time? Anyway, you can either turn to the Calicorms 263 or look up the Mix 135. Calicorms sounds fun. Mix sounds like a slur, but 263. Calicorms. Ryan says I'm leaning towards a waste of time. Could be. Calicorms. I don't know. I feel like there must be some kind of a hint there. It was ripped out.
Maybe it's
Calicorm.
like an inside joke or something.
It could be just that. I will never get. Calicorms are reliable and contented creatures. They are large reptilian beasts with gray skin, long tails, and two heads, which chatter at each other incessantly. They want for little, having no great ambitions in life beyond their jobs, their food, they live on dead snakes, and their home comforts. Rather out of character with their placid nature is their great delight in the screams and pain of torture. And strangely enough, these creatures are, for some reason, scared to death by mice in spite of their huge size. Turn to 328. So let's take note of that probably. Um, I'll write it in the margin on my character sheet. Calicorms, scared of mice. That's probably pretty much all we need to know, I would think. Yeah, so that way maybe I can make an illusion of a mouse if I run across them. Calicorms, afraid of mice. Probably not worth mentioning that they eat snakes. I mean, I guess I could summon up illusions of dead snakes and it would be like, all right, time for a snack. But I won't count on it. I think scaring them with mice sounds more feasible. All right, turn to 326. Yeah, I'm gonna assume it doesn't let you just read every book option. They'll find some reason to kick me out. The librarian's like, get out of here. Well, it does actually say 326. You replace the book. Will you continue browsing through the books 84, or will you leave through the door at the far end behind the librarian 31? I'm gonna try to read more if it'll let me. So Ryan says, Mark, you had choose your own adventure books, right? Yeah, of course. It's like every kid, even the non geeky kinds, and I'm a geeky kind, had choose your own adventure books. 84. Let's do it. Let's see what else I can read. Okay, they're making some excuse for me not to be able to read. No, I figured that was going to happen. I just didn't know it would give me a choice first. As you study the shelves, and we're down here at 84, by the way. As you study the shelves, you hear a commotion behind you. You wheel round in time to see orc-like creatures armed and on guard, materializing one after the other behind you. They advance and surround you. The tallest one moves his face close to yours and blows a puff of breath, orc breath, straight into your eyes. The room spins and you slump to the ground, unconscious. Turn to 234. Oh man. You wake up in a dirty room with rough walls cut into the rock. Iron bars in the window and the door confirm your suspicion that you are in a prison cell of some sort. There is not much you can do but sit on the straw mattress in one corner until someone appears. An hour or so later, you hear a shuffling noise outside. Looking through the bars in the door, you can see a lizard like creature shuffling down the corridor, carrying a mug and a bowl. The beast has two heads, which talk to each other as he walks. Its skin is gray and scaly, and a long tail follows it up the passage. Look at this, calicorns. It stops at your door and pushes the bowl and mug through a small opening into your cell, then shambles off to sit at a table across the hall. You have been given bread and broth. Will you eat and drink, or will you call out to this creature a calicorn? Not to be confused for a calico kitty. To take your food, turn to 397. If you wish to shout to the calicorn, turn to 69. Wait, I want to cast a spell to make a mouse. Well, really, if I just, excuse me, if I scared it away right now, that wouldn't really be helpful, I guess. I have to do it at the right time. And, it could be the food will restore stamina. Food tends to do that in this game, unless it's like poison or something. It might be good to eat the food. But our choices again are take the food, 397, or shout to the Calicorn, 69. Oh, Ryan says 69 with a lot of exclamation points, so I can't really deny the exclamation points. Each extra exclamation point counts as an extra vote, so that means we have about 4 votes for shout to the Calicorn. Um, what do you think, Arturo? Let's let you chime in. I think it's Stu left because it says I have 3 concurrent viewers now. Probably Vectrex are left too. Vectrex, I can captivate the audience of Vectrex if I'm playing Vectrex. And Arturo says I add 2 exclamation points. All right, let's do it. We're gonna shout to the Calicorn 69. And if Stu is still here, he'd be making a 69 joke right now. Um, the creature is not very talkative. So Stu actually, by the way, does his own streams on Saturday night. So usually sometime around 11 o'clock or so, he'll leave my stream and he doesn't like announce that he's gonna do his stream because maybe he thinks that would be rude or something. I don't mind actually. The creature is not very talkative, but you do discover that you are in the dungeons beneath the Black Tower and you will probably never be released unless you are given to the Ganges for sport. When you question him about Balthus Dyer, he goes silent. You'd better try a spell to get you out of this prison. All right, here we go. 193. Choose a spell. Fool's Gold, ESP, or Illusion. I mean, I feel like we know the mice thing. It's just I don't understand how we're going to use it effectively. Like they're not going to let us out of the cell. I'm sure the paragraph will come up with a way, but I just don't. I don't really see it right now, given our situation. So I guess we should do it anyway. We could do ESP though. But I say illusion. What do you guys think, Rob Bob?
Yeah, I say illusion.
Yeah, let's just do illusion. 35. Yep, they are. The Rhine Master says they are scared of mice. That's right. We found that out from reading the book. And then right after that, we found a Calicore. We got imprisoned by them. You concentrate on your illusion. You can either convince him that he's being attacked by an enemy, 364, or make yourself disappear in the hope that he will come looking for you. That's not what I hoped I could do. Okay, so no mousy thing yet. Unless if I choose being attacked by an enemy, it might give me a choice of what attacks him. And it'll say you can make it, a fearsome troll or this or that or a mouse. And I guess the idea would be to throw off anybody guessing mouse randomly if they didn't have the knowledge that we did. So,
Yeah, I think that one probably.
yeah. But I still don't really get how I would get out of the cell. Are they going to open the door just because a mouse is attacking him? Arturo actually says 246. Make yourself disappear in the hope that he'll come looking for you. Hmm. But it's got to be the mouse thing. It has to be leading to that, right? Like, why would they give you that clue? And how else are you going to make a mouse come except from an illusion? I don't know. I think it has to be 364, although I don't really see I don't really see why they would open the door. Let's just do it. Now, Arturo, when it goes horribly wrong, you can tell me that you told me so. But for now, I'm going with my gut, 364. Do, 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 do. Bear with me a second. You can see we're on the page with the drinks again.
Maybe you flood the area that he's in with mice, so he has
Yeah,
to open the door to get into.
maybe.
Yeah.
As your spell takes effect, you see a small mouse. Here we go. Run towards the table. I thought it would actually give me a prompt where I have to choose what I summon. That way, it kind of makes you have to know the mouse clue. That would be clever, I think. Maybe it's fine doing that. You see a small mouse run towards the table. You curse as you realize that the spell cannot have worked properly. Yes, no, I know the knowledge. Um, you curse as you realize that the spell cannot have worked properly, but hope returns as one of the Calicorm's heads sees the mouse and it looks horrified. The other head suddenly notices it, and both throats shriek together. The creature jumps on the table, and the Calicorm screams in terror as the harmless little mouse, turning the page, as the harmless little mouse approaches, sniffing fastidiously at the ground on the way. You let the Calicorn suffer for some moments, and then call out that you will get rid of the mouse for him if he will release you. There we go. He agrees quickly and throws you the keys. You let yourself out, grab your sword, which was leaning against the wall, and set off down the passageway. A safe distance away, you break your spell, and the mouse disappears. I could have probably killed him. And Ryan says the last time I was in NYC, I never used the subway. I just Ubered. Okay. Sometimes those Uber drivers in NYC are pretty scary. 174. Excuse me. The passageway twists and turns, eventually ending in a flight of stairs going up. Where the heck was I? Don't know where I am actually because I went into uh the jail. But let me actually try to draw a little bit. The library was here, and then I got taken to some random disconnected place. Let's call it right here for the fun of it. This was the jail, and When I left, I don't know. I guess the thing is I don't know which way I was going. I always just like to assume north when I don't know. Eventually ending in a flight of stairs going upward. So draw some stairs. You're right though. I do need the guy's map. No, I like to explore on my own. I don't want it to like just spoil the game for me. You climb the stairs and find yourself in a short passage ending at a dead end. Okay. As you examine the wall, you discover a short lever which you pull. The rock face ahead opens slightly and closes behind you as you walk through. You are now standing in front of a door which is locked. Okay, so wait, so basically I can't go back the way I came, I guess. Uh, yeah, closes behind you. All right. You're standing in front of a door which is locked. Okay. Door. You try to break it down or cast strength. I don't have strength, so 268. It's a quick paragraph, so I won't set up the arms. As you hit the door, the wood cracks a little but does not give. You try it again, and this time the wood splits down the middle. You break your way through into the room behind it. Huh. I wonder if 210 was the same paragraph for strength. It seems like that would be wasteful in that situation. Oh, I don't have a shielding spell, but that's a choice in this next paragraph. 210. You now stand in a large round room. It is lit by a single torch fixed into one wall. Okay, we got a large round room. Round. I'm drawing all my rooms round anyway. It is lit by a single torch fixed into one wall. There is no furniture in the room save for a rough wooden table and chair in the center. Hovering above the table. Sorry, let me adjust this arm. It's in the way. Hovering above the table, fast asleep, is a very small man dressed in a green shirt and pantaloons. He cannot be more than a meter tall, and you cannot believe that he is still asleep after your noisy entrance. Yeah, I broke down a door. He must be drunk, or otherwise enchanted or something, or really dumb, deaf. You hear a creak and turn to your right in time to see a small catapult fire a missile of some sort straight at you. Oh snap, I can't use shielding though. It's going to hit you unless you use a shielding spell. If you use a spell, turn to 192. If you cannot or will not, turn to 359. Alright, catapult hits me. A small catapult. And Ryan says, Rob, Bob, does your school get shooting threats? We had a shooting threat here last week and no kids went to school. Jesus.
Mine's never gotten that. Yeah.
And Rhymaster says, the leprechaun is a strange character, tricky little fun. I suppose this is the leprechaun. And now Ryan's going to have the obligatory Simpsons reference. And that's okay, I welcome it. 359. You try to duck but cannot avoid the full impact of the missile, which hits you on the forehead and splatters all over your face. You brace yourself, waiting perhaps for an acidic reaction to take place. But the mushy liquid merely drips off your face onto the ground. Cautiously, you test it, first with your finger and then with your tongue. You have been hit by a ripe tomato. You turn to face the sleeping figure once more. Turn to 29. So was this a trap or someone manning this catapult? That's what I don't get. A leprechaun's asleep though, right? I'm the leprechaun. Ryan says, I won't do it. Can't resist. That's where the leprechaun lives. He tells me to burn things. Cautiously you approach the little man. As you get close, a single eye opens and you look and he looks you straight in the face. A wide grin spreads between the creature's ears and he disappears. Good morning to yer, says a chirpy little voice behind you, and you swivel around to see him standing there, still grinning. I'm O'Shamus the Leprechaun, he chuckles and holds his hand out to you. He seems friendly enough. Will you shake his hand or try to befriend him or draw your sword?
They're
Well,
setting off fireworks outside my house now.
oh, you're getting fireworks. We had a little bit before. Well, I don't. I know that shaking his hand, befriending him, is not going to work. I don't know if I want to kill him though. I'll draw my sword though. I guess drawing your sword doesn't necessarily mean killing him. All right, 131. I could just be like back off, kind of a thing. Back off. You just tried to shoot me with your trap or whatever that was. You quickly unsheath the sword, pointing it towards the leprechaun. He throws a glance at the blade, and to your horror, it droops limply from the hilt, hanging downwards like a leather belt. It seems that you won't get too far acting aggressively. Perhaps you better ask him the way onwards. Turn to 348. Oh man. Do do do. Oh, I shouldn't go this way, says O'Shamus. These are not pleasant parts. These these three doors are the only way onward. Two of them are very dangerous. I'm trying to decide if this is the book or the character talking. I guess it's the book. Two of them are very dangerous, and the other is very smelly. On the opposite side of the room are three doors. One has a brass handle, one has a copper handle, and one has a bronze handle. Which will you choose? Two of them are very dangerous, and the other is very smelly. Brass, copper, or bronze? Yeah, I don't know. I think I think the quotes were supposed to be a little different. He was telling me that two of them are smelly and one is dangerous. And Stu says, "Is the handle covered?" And asks, "What is dangerous about that?" I don't know. I guess Stu is still here though. By the way,
Probably what's behind them.
I mean it's pretty
I
much
think he
random unless I ask
might have
for
said
advice.
that.
Sorry.
I was gonna say what's dangerous is probably what's behind them.
Yeah, I would think. So I could ask his advice. I don't think it's going to be straightforward, but I could try. And Arturo
Yeah,
says brass.
I think you should ask.
All right, let's ask his advice. 68. Stu said ask his advice too. Sure. You know it's not going to be that easy, but it's better than picking a random guess, I guess. Which would I take, eh? He muses. Let's see. I would not take. Sorry. I would not take the one two doors to the left of the copper handled one, nor the door to the right of the bronze handled one. Did it tell me how they're laid out? Hold on.
I
I
don't.
would not take the
Did it?
one two doors to the left of the copper one, nor the door to the right of the bronze handle. I don't know if brass, copper, bronze is in any order though. Two left of the copper. That would imply the copper is the third one because it's not like a circular thing, right? So if there is anything two to the left of copper, then copper has to be the rightmost. So we have unknown, unknown. Copper is the way I see it. And then the second clue is nor the door to the right of the bronze handle. To the right of the bronze. Let me show you what my notes that I'm writing as I try to deduce this. Right up here. I deduce copper must be the third one, rightmost one. But not take this one, nor the door to the right of the bronze handle. This is a logic problem, I think. So not this one. Well, we don't know which one that is. Uh, nor the door to the right. Is that really? Hmm. Is there a way to figure out which one, though, or just kind of reduce the chances of picking the wrong one? Sue says, "Is it possible without the orientation?" Can you check back and see if it's? I guess I could. I don't know. I'll just rewind my video because I don't really remember which paragraph I was on. Probably not how you're supposed to play though. Let me see. No, it doesn't tell you. It just says on the opposite side of the room there are three doors. One has a brass handle, one has a copper handle, one has a bronze handle. So even though we looked, which might be considered cheating, there's actually no benefit from said cheating. But all we know, really, yeah. So let me look at this again. Not take the one two doors to the left of the copper one, nor the door to the right of the bronze. So bronze could be either one. It could be this or this. Nor to the right of the bronze. Don't pick brass. How did you deduce don't pick brass? I guess just assuming it's in the order list. No, I don't think the order listing means anything. Mm-hmm. He says either brass is far left, then you shouldn't pick brass or copper. And so if this one is brass, or I guess you could write all the possibilities, right? We know there's only two possibilities, I guess. It's either brass, bronze, copper, or bronze, I think. Brass. Does that really tell us anything, though? Copper. These are the two possibilities. Could we deduce that copper is the third one, and we're not supposed to take if if it's case number one, then we don't take brass. If it's case number two, this is based on the first clue. If it's case number two, we don't take bronze. And for case number one, you would say nor the door to the right of bronze. So it would be no to copper in this case, or no to brass in this case, which doesn't really solve it because it's either bronze or copper then, right? But Stu said don't pick brass. Yeah, I think that's the best we can do is just guess bronze or copper. It's a trick question. The leprechaun is a smart arse. Ryan Master. All right. I guess I'll pick one of these two then. I don't know. Ryan's vote is copper. Arturo says no. Stu says good thing you didn't listen to Arturo. Yeah. Come on, Arturo. All right. I don't know. I guess we'll go with copper. But I think what Ryan Master is hinting at is maybe there's some stupid pun involved, or because he says it's a trick question. The leprechaun's a smart arse. I like how you guys say arse, by the way. We say s. Two left of the copper handle. She says if he's lying, the breast is the right one. I don't know. I'm trying to like read into is there some kind of pun here or like some like way to take it literally or figuratively for that matter, like something beyond the normal interpretation, right? Of the bronze handle. I don't think there is that I can discern. Very labyrinthine, right? Yeah, I don't want to sit here all day, so I guess I'll just pick one. In fact, I do have to kind of wrap up the stream relatively soon, probably within the next, let's say by midnight, so within 25 minutes. Because I gotta treat my wife right for Mother's Day by, uh, I promised her a waffle breakfast, so I'm gonna be up early making waffles. If I sleep through that, not gonna be a good scene here in the W household. But anyway, we're gonna pick a non-brass, and let's just go with copper. 22. You open the door and step out into a long, dark corridor. Turn to 188. Let me write down Leprechaun on this map, by the way. Well, I don't know if this was a good outcome. Rhymaster says, "Oh no, oh well, that doesn't sound good." So Rhymaster knows these games well, and he knows I picked the wrong thing. A sudden intense flash of light burst out in front of you. Unless he's talking about my need to make waffles early in the morning. You shield your eyes and then rub them, but you cannot see. Panic hits you as you hear a low growling noise. Padded footsteps come closer, and you cry out in pain as this unseen creature roars and embeds its sharp teeth in your leg. Oh, yeah, it doesn't sound good. I don't have strength or weakness, so I can't cast either of those spells. I forgot to deduct one of my creature copy spells, by the way. I have one left. I should be casting stamina soon, by the way, if I survive this ordeal here. So anyway, we're going to draw our sword and slash out at the creature at 51. You slash about madly with your sword but cannot hit the creature. Either it is extremely quick or it has no solid body for you to hit. Its teeth are now tearing at your flesh, and you can feel blood on your leg. Oh, yeah. You'll have to protect yourself with your magic or face certain death from this unseen creature, and it's giving me the same choices, though. Strength or weakness. Well, it doesn't sound uh, promising, does it? Can I do anything else? Fire? Probably bad to cast fire on something that's lashed onto my leg, but illusion, anything? Well, either 280 is going to say I'm dead or give me another choice. Or just say I'm taking a lot of damage, or I don't know, can test my luck or something. No, I think I'm dead. It says the creature is savaging you mercilessly, and you are powerless to prevent it. Your leg is covered in blood, and the pain is sickening. To no avail, you struggle with the unseen head. You are in agony. The creature lunges at your neck, and your last memory before losing consciousness is of its jaws closing around your throat. Turn to 323. So it's either you're dead or that I'm gonna be like, I passed out and I wake up in probably some jail again or something. It doesn't sound good though if it closed in on my throat. And if I do die, this is probably where I have to end the stream. You awake and look around. Okay, so maybe it's more like my guess about being in jail or something. As your memory returns, you are amazed that you can see your leg feels tender but is uninjured. Was that an illusion? Oh, it's Seamus the leprechaun messing with me. Sorry, I read ahead a little bit. Your leg feels tender but uninjured. You hear a small chuckle coming from above you, and suddenly the whole thing makes sense. Floating above you is Seamus, now laughing loudly. The whole thing has been one big practical joke. You are enraged and leap to your feet. But as you glare at the funny little man rolling about in the air in hysterics, you can't help but see the funny side. Turning the page, see the funny side too. You chuckle, then giggle, then laugh loudly. For some time, the two of you roar with laughter until tears stream down your faces. I don't know. I think what I want to do is while he's distracted, and I pretend that I have my guard down, like ha ha ha. It's gonna be like what with one quick blow. Well, I guess he made my sword go limp, so I can't do that. Maybe I just cast fire on him. Or Stu says you can kick him, stab him in the balls. Well, I can't stab him if he makes my sword go limp. But maybe he can't actively do that while he's cracking up with laughter. In any case, when you are both able to control yourselves, you eventually settle down to chat. He's a pleasant little man. Before you leave, he says, "Indeed, you are a good sport. Your way ahead is fraught with danger, though, but perhaps these will help you." With a wave of his hand, a sword and a plate appear on the table. The sword is a magic battle sword and will add 1 point to the dice roll when throwing for your attack strength. The plate is in fact a silver mirror of fine workmanship. You may take these with you, but you'll have to leave your old sword behind. Leave the room through either. Oh, this isn't bad. Okay. I got really humiliated for a moment, but I get to write down that I have a magic sword. +1 skill. I'll just write it like that. And a silver mirror. Okay. I know you can't see what I'm writing, but I had to write it nonetheless. And leave the room through either. Are these the same numbers as before? That's what I can't remember. My sword goes limp sometimes, but there's a pill for that, says Stu. Ryan Master says he just made to make us waste spells. All right. Yeah, but are these the same paragraphs? I don't remember.
It couldn't be the same paragraph because then you could just get infinite swords, right?
I guess. Should I try copper again? See if it does that. Why don't we just try
It's
the other possible one we deduced, which was bronze? If there's any meaning to these choices at all. 338. I see the Gark again. Gark, Gark, Gark. I see Baltus Dire. Ah, wait a minute. I remember being at this paragraph right before Baltus Dire before. Maybe not. I don't know. The door opens in a passageway. You follow the passageway onward for some time and it twists and turns through the rock. You pass another passageway joining from the right and carry straight on. Eventually the path widens out. I don't know how I'm going to map this. Bronze. I guess I'll write the bronze door here. I don't know. And now, what did it say? Opens into a passageway, twists and turns through the rock. You pass another passageway joining from the right. Okay. And carry straight on. Eventually, the path widens out. Turn to 90. Sorry, just struggling to map a little bit. Before Baltus Dire, you need to face Ryan, says Stu. Yeah, because he's his minion. He's Baltus Dire's minion. For some reason, the name Baltus Dire reminds me of the from Battlestar Galactica, Gaius Baltar, something like that.
I think I'm gonna go.
All right, Rob Bob's gonna go. All right, thanks for playing, Mr. Rob
Hmm.
Bob. Good night, and be good to your mother tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow's Mother's
Remember
Day.
the Mr. T rap. Mother, there is no other like mother, so treat her right. Okay,
Yeah,
good night.
you know.
And Stu says, I mean, if the guy wants to win, he should be called Baltus Liver. Baltus Liver, haha, get it? As opposed to Dyer, haha. All right, how are we doing here? The passageway widens, and you are now walking alongside a flowing river. Just ahead, a woman seems to be washing clothes. I love these. What I learned, by the way, that this style of dungeon is these days people who are very savvy on RPGs and stuff. They call this fun house, a fun house style of dungeon. In other words, it's not like any real coherent, realistic setting. It's like you walk through a room and there's a pool and there's a giant squid in it for some reason. And you walk into the next room and there's an orc sitting on a treasure chest. Just a bunch of random little encounters, which I actually don't mind because it's fun. But a lot of people, like who are really into RPGs and adventure game books, they kind of snub their noses at that because it doesn't really feel realistic, like a realistic scenario or like a coherent scenario. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that they call it the Funhouse Dungeons. Anyway, so there's a random woman washing clothes. She has a basket of these clothes beside her and several sets of long johns? Here she is, by the way. She got some, they do look like long johns. Long johns are hanging on a line behind her. I'm surprised in the UK they don't use some different term than long john because it seems like a very kind of slangy term. So you would think we would. I mean, we can't even agree on what it means to go to the bathroom. Like we use different terms here in the U.S. Yeah, I'm screwing my arm that always comes loose. I think I need to like get maybe a fatter screw because the hole is probably all worn out. Anyway, I can't just attack this random woman washing her clothes, but I know if I ask the chat, Arturo is going to be like, kill her, kill her. Anyway, well, will you draw your sword in advance ready for a fight? 176. It doesn't mean I'm going to attack her. I'm just going to be ready to fight. Hail her and try to make conversation. 21. Use an ESP spell to find out who she is. 329. I mean, it could be there is some, something beyond her being a random woman. She could be some kind of magical creature or have a secret. So ESP could be useful. I'm inclined to either chat with her or ESP. Ryan Master says talk. I think I'll do that. Let's just talk to her. All right, we're gonna talk 21. And since Ryan Master knows the game well, I'm hoping he wouldn't nudge me into a trap. But by all means, feel free to do so, Ryan Master, because I don't want anything too spoiled either. What brings you to these parts? She demands. You tell her your story, carefully avoiding telling her of your real mission. She advises that if you know any magic, you should flee from this place. The creatures you have met so far do not compare with those you will come across within the Citadel Tower itself. She tells you you will never meet the Master without finding the fleece first, and bids you luck on your mission. Add 2 luck points for the information you have learned. Oh man. I'm saying oh man because I already used the thing to replenish my luck, and it can't go above your initial luck, which in my case is 9. So really that bonus to luck didn't do anything. Anyway, so now I know I need a fleece. So I'm going to write that in the margin of my character sheet. Need fleece. Okay, turn to 6. Six. The path runs alongside the river. Let me try to mention the lady on my map here. I'm going to call her Laundry Woman. Okay, the passage runs alongside the river for several meters and then cuts back into the rock. You follow the path for some time. Turn to 167. Wait, what? Did I get that paragraph wrong? You bend over the broth and take a sniff. No, that's not right. Broth are we talking about? Okay, I'm gonna rewind my video again to see where I was. 367. Ah, not 167. Sorry, I'm getting tired. Okay, some way along the passage, you arrive at a four-way junction. You take a path to the north, which eventually leads you to a large wooden door. And that means I've been drawing the map wrong because I was actually coming down south, and now it's saying I'm going north. so, so I'm apparently drawing it all wrong. But take a path to the north, which eventually leads you to a large wooden door. I guess there's no point in my even worrying about the four-way intersection if I don't have a choice. It's just kind of the path is taking me where it's going to take me. Anyway, leads you to a large wooden door. Okay. You can hear nothing by listening at the keyhole. You try to open the door slowly and quietly, turn to 308, or charge the door down, turn to 121. It's funny when you present it with a choice of, well, you're probably being quiet is the obvious good one, but it almost feels like a setup. Well, I'll do it anyway. 308. The handle turns and you step into a dark room. Turn to 257. Here's the Rhino Man, by the way. Wait, he's a wolf. A wolf. Oh, he's a wuss, but only after casting the weakness spell. See that? I know. I'm cheating by looking at other paragraphs. 257. You look round the room. It is lit only by your torch. Although a fairly large room, it has little furniture in it. Although a large boulder sliced flat resembles a table, and a smaller rock forms a sort of stool behind it. In one corner, a pile of rocks are held together with mud. Okay. You cannot imagine their purpose, although they support three wooden chests. Okay. Then you jump with fright as your torch lights up a large creature, seemingly made of rock itself, standing by a door. It is roughly human shaped, although somewhat larger. Its eyes are staring straight at you, but you cannot be sure it is actually seeing you. Okay, I can run for the other door. Turn to 237. What was it? A door on the opposite side, or try to reread real quick. Standing by, I didn't say which side. All right. Anyway, run for the other door. 237. Attempt to speak with the creature. 357. Move slowly towards the boxes in the corner. And that is 200. Ryan said 357. We're gonna try to chat with it. We're being very chatty today. All right. All right. I don't think this thing is gonna respond, but I'll try it. Here's a picture, by the way. So that looks like a golem or something. I don't think chatting's gonna work. Well, I'll do it anyway. 357. The creature is apparently deaf mute. You hail it in all the languages you know, but it continues to stand silently. You make a move toward the center of the room, turn to 200. At your first movement, the creature seems to break from its trance and steps towards you. Seeing this, you may either run for the door at the far end of the room or make for the boxes and risk taking on this silent giant. Shall I be cowardly for once and try to make a run for the door at the far end of the room? Let's do that. Um, glancing at other paragraphs that I shouldn't do. Either one. What are these boxes about? I guess we don't know. Oh yeah, there's chests. They probably have cool stuff in them. Trying to think of what spells might work against this thing. I'm assuming it's like a totally brainless golem. So probably, ESP wouldn't work. I would imagine illusion wouldn't work. I would imagine I already used illusion. I have to cross that off. I use it for the mouse trick. So I just corrected myself there. Fire probably wouldn't do much against a rock creature. Creature copy. I like that creature copy, right? I'm gonna face him. I'm gonna face him. 98. And Ryan said I should say Klaatu Barada Lichtu. I said every. Well, maybe I didn't say every syllable. It is a golem. My intuition is correct. The golem advancing towards you is a slow-moving creature, and you reach the boxes easily. You curse as you find they're all locked. As you struggle with the locks, the golem closes on you. You may draw your sword and fight the creature, cast a fire spell. I'm doubting fire is going to work. Let's go to 4. Cast a creature copy spell 190. Forget the boxes and race for the door 237. As soon as I wrap up this golem encounter, I think I'm going to call it a night. And maybe we can resume next week, though. We'll see how it goes. I might have something on my calendar next week, actually, but we'll see. But anyway, well, if you notice, Ryan, they tend to capitalize every monster's name. Like, even if it was an orc or something, it would say the orc, all caps. That's just the Fighting Fantasy style they use. Um, I feel like creature copy is a good bet, most likely, but then that's my last creature copy, and I don't know. I don't know if it's good to save it for later or not. What I wish you could do is try to fight a creature, and then if it's not going well, or after you see its stats, then you cast creature copy. But I don't think it lets you do that. Um, well, let's just fight it. I have my magic sword now, so I'm stronger than before. We're gonna draw the sword and fight it. 303. All right, gotta bring out the screwdriver again. Bring out your screwdriver. The golem advances and you slash at it with your sword. Your sword hits solid rock and clangs noisily. You'll have to resolve this battle and deduct 1 skill point during the final, man. Alright, so that means I have 8 because my magic sword gives me 1. So basically it's skill 8 versus skill A and my stamina of 11 versus 10. I think this is essentially a coin flip. No, that's what I say now. What about the stamina spell? I think it said I can't use that in combat. But I do have luck I can use. I can test my luck to do additional damage or protect against damage. So it is better than a coin flip in that respect. But let me see. I'm just gonna check in the front how the stamina spell works. Because if I can use it in the battle, then I'm in good shape. But I think it said you can't. So maybe cast at any time except in battle. All right. Well, let's do it. Golem, skill 8, stamina 10. I'm gonna have to use some luck, I think. Ryan said, I never liked that in these games too. If you saw a rock monster, you wouldn't slash your sword at it. Well, I kind of chose to to attack it with my sword, so I don't think it's unreasonable. Skill 8, stamina 10. I can't write number 8 apparently. Golem. All right. Well, let's use blue for me, white for the golem. And again, remember to use luck. I'm probably gonna need it. Okay, it beat me. I guess I'll start by taking the 2 damage. So I have 9 stamina. This is not going well. Beat me again. I have 7. I'm going to start using luck from here on out, I guess, to protect myself. Okay, I won that round. That's good. He's got 8 stamina. Won that round too by 1. 6 stamina for the golem. A tie. We both miss. Have you used the shield yet? Yes, I have used the shield at the arrows in the beginning. And he wins this round. All right, I'm going to try to test my luck so that the damage is reduced um, by 1. So what I have to roll is a 9 or less, and I'm going to use up 1 luck point in the process. Cool, so I only take 1 damage. 6 damage, still not great. Yeah. Oh, lost again. Lost again. I guess I'm going to test my luck again. My luck is 8. Failed. What is that, an extra damage then? Gotta check in the beginning. Could be the end. Let's see. Testing your luck. If you're unlucky, subtract 1 extra stamina. Well, yeah, so I took 3 and I have 3 stamina left. Jeez. Alright, I can't cast any of those spells like stamina or luck in the combat. Should have done it earlier, I guess. Basically, I can't do anything but just keep rolling and using luck as I see fit. Jeez. Alright, gotta get lucky. I'm trying to think if I do score a hit too. I want to test my luck to do extra damage because if I can get 2 shots that do it 3 damage, then it's over. I have 10 meals to eat. I think I totally missed that. It said I had 10 meals to eat. Should have been eating them before then. Let me check in the intro again. It doesn't say that here. Does he have a lantern, backpack? I know in some other adventures they say you start with provisions. I don't think this one gives you provisions. Yeah, they don't mention it at all. Oh, here you go. Stamina and provisions. It doesn't actually say you have any provisions or how they work. I think they were just kind of copy pasting their header here from other books. Or maybe it was maybe there's an errata and they just forgot to write about that. In any case, I didn't eat. If I did have 10 meals, I would have been chowing down on a few of them here and there. Let's Google it quick. Citadel of Chaos. Maybe the specific edition. Wizard books provisions. Where would I find discussion about this that would where people would point out if it's erroneous or not? I'm not going to spend too long googling, so just bear with me a minute though. Mm-hmm. If you look at, I found a page on a wiki on fightingfantasy.fandom.com, And it says, due to the ability to use spells to restore the values of the three standard attributes, the player does not begin this adventure with provisions or potions. Okay, so you don't have provisions in this one. All right. Well, let's just keep rolling, and then I'll decide if I'm using luck or not, depending on these outcomes. I'll think about it once the outcome is in my face. Okay, I won the round. So the choice is, do I want to try to make a luck roll 7 or less and do 3 damage instead of 2? I don't know. I think how I'm gonna play it is not do that, and then when I'm down to 1 stamina, that doesn't really help, does it? I was gonna say save the luck for when I have 1 stamina, but then the hit is gonna kill me, and either gonna kill me anyway. Uh, I think I'll just do the 2 damage to him. I'll use it defensively, even though a failed roll will mean I die. I guess I could choose not to use any luck anyway. Anyway, basically we were kind of at it. He takes 2 hits, and I take 2 hits, but I have the choice to throw luck into the problem if I choose to do so. All right, I won the next round too. He's down to 2. Whew. This could be victory. Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. I haven't rolled it yet. Yeah, 11 versus his 5. I have slain the golem. Whew, that was a tight one. Fortunately, I lost my page. I was holding the book upside down on my desk, but it closed by itself. I gotta find the golem again. There he is. If you defeat the creature, turn to 147. Hey, right, Master. Do you know if anybody has come up with a system of like a point system for your attributes instead of rolling? Like maybe you have 10 points or whatever, and your skill and luck each start at 6, but you could allocate the 10 points, and maybe stamina figures in too. Like maybe that starts at 12, but then every point you put in adds 2 to stamina. I don't know. Just an idea I had. That way it's less lucky and more of your own choice of how you want to balance your character. But anyway, yeah, down to 147. The golem crashes to the ground and breaks into pieces. With relief, you walk over to the boxes to examine them. Now, freaking chest is probably going to kill me. We try to open. Hold on. Before I do anything, I'm using a freaking stamina spell. Um, so I have 1 left now. And what is it? Restore half of my initial stamina? I got to look it up again. Using magic. Stamina. Yeah, by half its initial value. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So it was rounded down, they said, so it would add 21 divided by 2. Rounded down is 10, so I have 13 stamina again. Woohoo! That's about where I was when I ran into the wheelies. That was like 2 hours ago, probably. All right, I really do have to wrap up the stream, but let's pick a box first. The choices are the first box, the second box, or the third box. So, we have nothing to go on. It's an arbitrary choice. I will pick door number 2, let's say. Box number 2. That is 129. Are you fucking kidding me? Excuse me. You struggle with the box for some time, trying to open it. It will not open. You take out your sword and strike the box, but you succeeded only in blunting your sword. Come on. I wouldn't do that. Come on. From now on, you must deduct 1 point from your skill score. You do not manage to open the box. Excuses open all the boxes. Will you open the first box, third, or leave the boxes and press onward? I'll have to deduct my skill apparently. I guess I can always use a skill spell later. Maybe if I lose like one or two more points. Arturo says you would, Mark. I have seen you deal with the office door. Okay, fair enough. All right, one or three. Box one or three. One or three. One or three. All right, let's go with one. 260. Stu says three. He's probably right because Stu likes to be right. Oh, look at this. After struggling, the box opens. Inside is a silver key. Hmm. Oh, we know the second box is locked, so now I could try to use the key on the second box. I don't know. We don't know the stats of the third box yet. I say we do two. Yeah, Stu says use it on the second box also. I agree. 34. This is funny. The key turns. As Stu says, you would think it would say there was a keyhole. Yeah. Key turns and removing the lock. You open the box to find another key, this time cut in a glowing green metal. Will you try this new key on the third box or leave the room with the two keys? Third box. Third box seems common sense. That's why it feels like it's a trap. I'm gonna do it though. I always talk myself into thinking things that might be traps, and then I'm like, what else am I gonna do though? Can I just how am I gonna not do that? Right? I have to do it. I'm just paranoid. 89. The key turns, the lock clicks open, and you look inside the box. Inside the box is a glass jar, and in this jar is a spider. But not a normal spider. This creature has the face of an old man. He is talking to you, help me! But you cannot make out what he is saying. A noise startles you, and you spin around to see that the door, the one you came through, is beginning to open. You put the jar in your bag and make for the other door. Turn to 237. I think I'm going to have to halt it here. Para 237. But I got what? A weird spider jar? Spider guy in jar. That's what I'll write on my sheet. And anything else worth noting on the map? I should draw the room, golem, and chests. Funny thing, my map is I've been playing this for 3 hours now, and I'm wrapping up the stream right now. And there was some stuff before the tower, but this is literally all I've got mapped. It seems like barely anything. I spent a half hour reading the intro and stuff. I guess it just kind of feels like wow, there's probably a lot more to discover still though. Unlike when we played City of Thieves, I felt like I had this sprawling map covering most of the page. Anyway, that's okay. Maybe I'll resume this soon. I do have a lot of activities going on in the next over the next few weeks, including going away for a wedding, uh, having a designated date with my wife. We're going to do that again once in a while on Saturdays, and so there might be either next week or 2 weeks from now an opportunity to stream again. So yeah, I'd like to continue this because this is cool and I've been enjoying it, and it would be nice to actually finish one of my playthroughs, right, of a game book. I actually did finish the Beowulf one. That's true. And otherwise, I don't tend to finish them. But let's finish a Fighting Fantasy one for once. Let's put it that way. And Lemmings, yeah, we gotta do Lemmings sometime. And by the way, what Ryan is referring to is I actually have a game book based on the computer game Lemmings, and from what I hear, it's actually pretty good. So that should be fun to try sometime. Apparently, you have to allocate resources. Like you have a certain number of lemmings, and you decide how many are going to be, I don't know, floaters or blockers or whatever, depending on the situation. So you lead your army of lemmings, and they can live or die horribly. They usually die horribly, I'm sure. But that's all for tonight. So thank you to newcomer Ryan Mester, the fighting fantasy guru, apparently. Yeah, glad to have you. And as usual, my regulars, Mr. Ryan, Stu, and Arturo. Thanks for hanging out as usual. And yeah, we got 8 likes on this stream. Maybe that's actually 9 because it always seems to tell me one less than what other people see. So yeah, that was just, I consider that a pretty successful stream. I was hoping because the official Fighting Fantasy Twitter account was promoting it, like maybe I'd be really surprised and see like 50 users. I would be elated, but no such luck. Anyway, this is still great, and yeah, I had a lot of fun. So I guess I'll maybe see you guys on next Thursday's stream for those who are interested, in which I play retro video games. But yeah, that's all. Have a good night. Take care.